we're
I
just
see
gonna
what you mean.
have fun just chatting it up tonight. I think it's gonna be a great one.
This.
Oh,
is
of
Hard
course.
Math.
I'll try not to talk over anybody, but I can't promise.
Man, it'll be all right.
Brian, Brian, I lost all respect for you.
He's got a shirt.
All new series from Miniature Building
Zero
Forge,
respect.
The leader in tabletop gaming scene. Unique.
Oh, I can
flexible,
actually
and
see the
playable.
tip of your nose. It's
Harbor
getting
Town
darker.
will take your games to the next dimension.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, it's so funny.
Wow.
Oh man,
Yes.
Mike, I take a razzing from everyone, dude. Oh,
Yes.
there it
You
is.
see that?
Yes.
There's the tilt wall. Yeah.
That's coming your way, Bill. That's
Oh, it's
about,
the fences.
yeah.
Ah,
For the
It's all
jails.
modular.
nice.
Yep.
It's not a perfect fit because I had to resize and shape and that kind of stuff, but
What kind of printers you using there, Brian?
Ender 3.
We're going to discuss that too because we have a decision for us that for Bill. What we're going to get Bill is a 3D printer.
Get him an Ender 5.
Oh, snap. Is that a resin printer?
No. Nope.
Okay, yeah, no. I use, I don't know nothing about the other printers. I only use the Elegoo Mars. I got 2 of those.
Yeah.
So there's just my whole box of odds and ends that I don't have painted for the most part, minus.
I have a whole bag of stuff that I
delicious.
started working on for stuff you said, Brian.
You know what you did? You just showed me a box of Playboys. Oh,
All right, so look,
filthy.
look, this is on a $200 3D printer.
Yeah, baby. There you go.
I mean, you can pop these things off for fucking 10 cents.
See, Mike likes the resin because he wants the detail in the menu, right, Mike? Is that why you go the resin?
Yeah, that's the only reason. That's
But I mean, look at what you got with this guy.
Yeah.
And
See,
that
you gotta remember,
well, I
Mike's-
only paid $50 more for my printer, so
Yeah.
yeah, but how much? Like how much?
Mike does commissions, Brian. You gotta understand, man.
Right. But how much? Like something like this. 10
Check-
cents.
The chat's
Maybe-
going on here, guys.
yeah,
before
maybe.
we even started.
maybe like 5 cents, something like that. Not much. Not much, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a cool, definitely cool.
Oh no. So you want to see the? Here's just one of the storage boxes. CJ, this is why these are better than Dwarven Forge. I could just toss all these in here, and I can shake this box to shit.
I know my Dwarven Forge weighs a ton, and it's brittle. I understand that, but I already have it. Though. That's the problem there.
Oh, I'm fingering the door.
Yeah, it's definitely a trade-off. And if we didn't start with it, and me buying it back in the '90s, it would be a different story, right? But I have it all, so it's good stuff. So, and then guys, we had yeah. Oh, you sent me another pic. Oh, Mike, thanks, man. I don't know if I can get to it now with me being in stream here, but I got. Mike, I got stuff in the scroller of your stuff too, man. I really appreciate it. But thank you for sending me that. So this Kickstarter ended for NBA.
I still have these that I printed for you that we never did.
Yeah, Dice Prisons. Well, you should be shipping them over, man.
Maybe when I ship the Joust Tilt.
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe when I ship the Joust Tilt. Why does I keep? Oh, I'm hearing myself through Jay. I'm like,
Mike, I'm actually talking to Retro Gamer Meth as Mike as well. Mike, just make sure at a point that you can link your brands, because we're looking for some options as well. All different types of 3D printers that are out there. So just let me know.
yeah, I think just stuff like this, didn't I, Jay?
Yeah, that stuff was awesome, especially with the daggers all laying on the table. That stuff's beautiful.
Brian, I got the whole bag here.
All right.
Looks like the one I used to keep in my nightstand in high school, but it's different.
Yeah. I love the modular bar. That's why just having.
Dude, that was wrong.
What?
No, that what Bill said. So, all right, let's do what's coming up here
All right, I gotta grab a glass then. Be right back.
How Bill? How are we on figures for coming up in a couple weeks? Our new campaign.
How are we? Well, I got them primed yesterday. That counts.
Woohoo! Oh boy. How about that Reaper order?
I did not get to it this weekend,
Okay.
but I'll probably do it tomorrow because it wouldn't have gotten out anyway. because I had to find a picture for a mini for Tom's Shadow Match Steve.
Yeah.
I found one though. I just haven't gotten to the order yet.
Starting in Narwhal, guys, in a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks. We'll see. It could be 3. We'll just see everyone out there. We're gonna have a little fun with that. It'll be a different type of campaign. So I want to show you that, and then here we go. 2 more screens. So Phantom won the dice set last night. He won the giveaway last night.
God, my table's so full of stuff right now. I got a small.
Dude, what do you see with the stuff I got all over the place here, man? I got a box of this little.
Yeah,
odds
but you're
and
not
ends.
on a 50-inch thing that you use with your like work laptop.
One more time, then
right?
one more time on that one when we're on the welcome screen, and we're good to go, guys.
Toy and dice, 25 heroes. Not your mom's dice. See, now this is gonna make me sad because I'm gonna see all the stuff I have to paint.
Well, just think about this, Mike. How many? That's a good question for when we start. As how many minis you paint a week? How much? How many? I can't imagine. It's pretty crazy.
Who are you talking to, me?
Yeah, Mike. How many did? Yeah.
It depends. Maybe 4 or 5.
Okay. But they're like.
This week I only did 2. So.
You've been working at one for Motor City Ray. That thing is incredible.
Well, I've been doing that. When I say painted, I mean finished. You know what I mean? So I've been working on 18 custody bikes for GW. I've been working on a 2.5-foot tall Hulu, which I finished. That was one of the things. I've been working on that thing for Motor City.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, Jason. We got Mike Disney on. Jason, yes. You know the voice. Look at that. Jason Zavoda. Yep. We got him on. We got a real nice crew tonight. This is going to be a fun discussion, and I appreciate everyone coming on. I know people are still coming on. It's a beautiful weekend here, so.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Oh, Mike, this one's going to be a blast, and I'm looking forward to the discussion. All right, it's 1 minute before 7:30. We should come on a minute early there. So, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? I got an unbelievable group with me tonight of people way more talented than I am. Yes, Brian said in this realm, and that's why when this discussion we decided to talk about this, I really needed to put on some people who really could help out and show that behind the scenes, man, without people like this, I wouldn't have a table with all the cool stuff on it. So let's start with I got Brian Sublime. I guess, Brian, you want to use your last name? That's fine. I got Bill the Master Crafter. If you don't want to use your last name, fine. And we got Mike Disney from his Art of Mike Disney Twitch channel. All wonderful at what they do. So, Mike, welcome. Thank you for coming back. I know you were on our show after the fundraiser. And,
Yes, sir.
And thank you so very much for taking time out of your lovely weekend there.
You're more than welcome. This is a pleasure. I love it. Talking D&D and some other nerdery stuff.
Yeah, major nerdery stuff on this tonight. We're going to talk about we got a lot of the crafts up that you all have done to discuss and to show people out there it's not that hard to get started in doing this. Brian, how are you, man?
I'm Peachy Keen. Yeah, I'm excited. Making sure I'm not on mute.
You're good.
Just so folks know, we're going to start early, but we're going to start really, really light. Buckland Mead.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah. So I was telling these guys about this earlier. This is Groenfell Meadery in Vermont. I found them through the COVID times, and you can get like these sample packs of 6 4-packs of pints for $70 with free shipping. Free shipping on booze is like never heard of. So awesome stuff.
Excellent.
Sadly, I think this one sold out. They only brew this one once a year.
Oh,
sucks for you guys because it's amazing.
And well, thanks, Brian. And my longtime friend, the youngest of the group in my Thursday night from 1992, and we know
Young
him.
kid.
Yes, we know him as Bill the Master Crafter. And Bill, welcome, man. Thanks, Mike Saxton. Thank you. Where to start? Okay, so Mike, what has everything you've done with all your arts and D&D? How's it like changed what you do in your life, or how your passion for it? Why don't you just give us a little tidbit of
what does D&D do for me in my life? How has it changed my life?
Yeah.
Well, Dungeons and Dragons has started all of this. If it wasn't for that, it would not have sparked more, I guess, giving me the inspiration to even draw and paint what I do now. So, yeah, if it wasn't for Gary Gygax, Dungeons and Dragons, and for the people that introduced me to it, my grandmother, actually, very first one. She, they remember the Schwann's butts, or not bus, but the van that would used to come around door to door and sell stuff off of the truck.
Yeah.
Well, they had the D&D jail edition.
Oh, the chicks.
And they sold it on that. And that's what she bought me. And that's how I started D&D right there.
That's a great story.
And I didn't know nothing what I was reading. I had no idea, but I loved the artwork. That was all it was about. And that's why she bought it, because she knew I would like the artwork. Because I always drew and stuff, but I would draw military soldiers and aliens and combat and stuff like that, dumb stuff, kid stuff, And but D&D was that was what started it. Once I got my hands on that, I was drawing nothing but dragons, all the monsters, and that in the back, reading anything I could understand. If I didn't understand the word, it helped me with a lot. It helped me with vocabulary, math. D&D changed a lot for me. So, and then of course it introduced me to reading books. We were just talking about, The Hobbit was the first fantasy book I ever read, but after that it was R.A. Salvatore all the way. And I started with the very first one that he wrote out of that whole series, which was the Crystal Shard. But the very first D&D thing I think I ever read was Keep on the Borderlands module. So besides those two books that my grandmother got me off the Schwann's Boss.
And now you've turned it into a career doing commissions for people.
Yep, commissions, and then the stream, of course, where we paint just about everything, not just D&D stuff, but mainly I try to concentrate on D&D but we do illustration on the stream, we do sculpting on the stream, so there's a lot of different things that we do, but the commissions are mainly my source of income. Yes.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. It really is an honor too. And so we'll get through it. Mike's stuff is scrolling through on the left, and look at that thing. That is unbelievable.
It's a horrible picture, but
yeah. Oh my gosh, what scale is that?
I don't even know. It's enormous, is what it is. It's 2.5-year-old toddler scale.
yeah, it is freaking unbelievable. So Mike's stuff is scrolling through, and we have a couple other things, and then I got Bill's crafting stuff scrolling through on the bottom below them, and I got some of Brian's 3D stuff coming below after Mike's, and I also got Mike Saxton stuff on to show what you can do with like 4 3D printers at once. So I appreciate you sharing that stuff with us, Retro Gamer Meth. So Brian, man, how long has it been since you had a 3D printer?
So 3D printer, got it 2 Decembers ago.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's basically you've changed your game style because now you have terrain and dungeons a little bit. So you're actually going from, I know you use Fantasy Grounds a lot, but now you're using some tabletop play.
Well, so I used tabletop play before the 3D printer. The 3D printer just allowed me to get into more of the terrainscapes. I have always had like the physical maps. I've had my Chessex mat that I take with me. It stays in my car. I've had kind of modular pieces. So the 3D printer has helped, but I don't think it was my starting point. Not by far.
Okay.
Honestly, like papercraft is one of those things I think is overlooked. That I didn't use as much as I have a lot of papercraft files, but when I used it, it was really cool.
Well, I know that a couple years ago we were talking, and you said you were going to make that leap, and I'm glad you did because we're going to show some things. Brian has some great ideas for really entry budgetary for you if you really want to try and get into this. Came up with some brilliant ideas, and then I go to Brian right now because we don't have a 3D printer. For some key things. He's working on something for a major event we're going to do as well, and we're going to show that too. So really neat things going on with that, and I really appreciate it, Brian. And Bill has gone from novice to amazing crafter in terrain. So how that happened in like I say what 5-year period, man?
Well, I don't know about amazing. There's people who make a lot better stuff than mine, but for what we do, I think it's pretty good. But well, getting laid off from work 2 years ago had a lot to do with it.
Oh, modest mouse over there.
I had a lot of time to work on things, but I enjoy doing it. It's a hobby for me. It's an escape. It's not a full-time thing for me. It's a full-time job, so it's my escape from reality. It gives me some time to help me with peace of mind.
That's right.
And
the biggest jumps in the last year for me, really, honestly, has been watching YouTube guys and Twitch streamers, because the communities out there are so good in giving now that there's no secrets. Everybody will share with you. There's a lot of Patreons that are great for lessons. I recommend people take them if they can afford them, because there's great classes out there. Mike does Patreon classes. There's a bunch of really good guys out there, but watch videos, watch tutorials, and you can pick the stuff up.
Bill, was DM Scotty your number one inspiration, or was it one of the others for as far as making these great, like the fire effects and stuff? Who was there anyone you could point to, or was it a whole mix of different crafters?
There's a bunch of different ones. DM Scotty does great stuff.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
Great stuff. Black Magic Craft does great stuff. Crafting News, she does some really interesting stuff. You have to pick and choose what you're looking at. Because everyone's got different styles. Bard's Craft does some really nice stuff. There's just so many out there. There's a guy in England too who does some really good stuff. Terrain. I can't think of it off the top of my head now. But you just search what you're looking for, and you can find videos and guys showing you how to do it. It's not always easy. It takes practice. It takes time, but it's there are resources out there to get into it.
And our game is the beneficiary of this, all of everything. I mean, it's just been fantastic. So, guys, you see, we have a special giveaway tonight. Please, I'm going to say, in order to win, you should be on at the end when we do the drawing as well. But look at this. I got 2 of these to give away. This is the Overgourd that's coming out in Bones 5. That's Mike's sculpt. And it's signed by Mike Disney. I'm going to give away 1 for subs and 1 in the general signups, okay? 2 of these prints. Yes, sir.
Actually, it's not my sculpt. It's sculpted by Jason Weeby.
I apologize.
From Reaper Miniatures, but it's
your drawing.
It's my design, actually. It's my community. It's not my community. Our community's design. Wow, I can't even speak.
It's okay, man.
But no, the birth of the Overgourd was on October 4th, and it was through a prompt for Inktober. And my chat are the ones that came up with the Overgourd 100%. The only thing I did was draw him. So the Overgourd is a product of the Twitch online miniature community.
And I thank you for clarifying that. I really appreciate it. And there it is when it got unlocked during the Kickstarter. And so these are Mike's prints of his drawing, and I appreciate you giving these to me, Mike, and we'll be giving
no
these out
worries.
tonight. And
Anything.
I know it's exciting for. I have that one. It's in my shelf. Of all the miniatures and stuff, and eventually it'll be in the shelf with the figure that will be painted. So looking forward to that. All right, so everyone, how do you get started, Mike? How would you recommend to get, like, just at the beginning? I'm talking paints. I'm talking. What would you do?
That's easy. Reaper Miniatures Learn to Paint Starter Kit.
Okay.
Yep.
100%. There's no other place I would go. I would not send anybody anywhere else because you've got everything right there in one set.
That's a big one.
You've got no, not that. Not
yeah,
that
that's the only one I have a picture of up though.
No. This is a $30, $35.
I normally
set.
have like 3 of them sitting underneath my table.
Yeah, and it's a gorgeous.
There it goes. Bill's got it.
I got one. I got one right there. You go. He's got one right there. I was gonna say I was just gonna grab one right here, and that's the way to start right there. That is the way to start it. That's I can't refer anything else. That's the place that there's a little booklet in there, and also the community that Reaper has. They have a Discord. You have endless resources. They have a Twitch channel, Facebook, you name it. They've got it. You can't go any better place. And I know I'm sponsored, but even before I was sponsored, I would tell you this. They're the number one place to go. Period.
Bill, say a little about what Reaper's done for us.
Well, I'll tell you what. Being old school, we only used metal for the longest time, and probably I'd say 75 to 80% of all the miniatures we have down there are Reaper. There's a few others that we like too, but with us being sponsored now, it opened my eyes to the Bones product, especially the Bones Black product, which is really nice to paint. They've made it very reasonable for people who want to get into a miniatures tabletop game with their Bones line to be able. They have the same miniatures in metal and Bones, 90% of them. It's the way to go today.
And you can't beat the price point. You can't beat the price point, especially with everything that's in that Learn to Paint kit. Not to you're making a good point. It's very cost effective because you've got in that Learn to Paint kit, I think, 2 brushes, 3 miniatures, and 11 paints. I think 11 paints.
Yeah, I think it is 11.
You cannot beat that. That's worth the value in paint alone. Then you add their brushes, and their brushes are excellent quality. I use them all the time. Their paints are top quality, and the miniatures are good. They're nice miniatures in there. So you've got everything in there, plus a little pamphlet that teaches you all the basics.
Yeah. I bought it to work with my son. He's painting one right now. I'm painting a mini. He's painting a mini. So it's great, especially if you want to get other people involved in it in the family. It's a great way to do it because they can look at the instructions. The instructions are clear, concise, easy to read. It's the best way to go.
Gary Julian, glad to see you on tonight for this show. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. All right, Brian's got a brilliant.
I was going to say, I got to disagree. I think if you want to get into painting and that kind of stuff, that is where you want to start. I think those kits, I agree. They're fantastic. You can't go wrong with them. As I said, I have the core, the basics, like the layers and the core. Like I have pretty much, I think, all the Learn to Paint kits. But if you're looking at starting to get into a physical game, one of the things is, you already have something in mind for a campaign. Either you're running an out-of-the-box campaign or you are planning something, and you kind of have an idea of what minis you need. And so my suggestion is, if you can afford the $45 upfront, is to buy one of the D&D Adventure Path kits. Who cares about the game? You get literally like 40 some odd minis that are all pretty decent quality. 40. You get these adventure tiles. Some of the minis you are big, some are small. You get heroes. You get typically 3 of each mini that comes in there, because let's face it, when you're fighting something, you're fighting more than one typically. So you're getting a lot of common things that you need early on in campaign.
All right. So here's my Wrath of the Charlemagne with them not open.
Oh, I must have misunderstood the question then. Did you ask how to get started in the game or how to get
Yeah,
started
you're
in
absolutely
miniature
right. No,
painting?
this is great for both because Brian's just showing us a little way to get a trick of the trade to get minis quickly, right?
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
thought the
this is
question was, how do you
when you want to start.
get started on like actually bringing a physical approach
Yeah,
to the game?
yeah, and
Oh,
I
right
assume
on.
you
My
know
bad.
painting graphics, so that
yeah,
was my.
the paint. You all agree on the paints. You all agree on the paints.
Yeah,
And
like if you're starting to get into paints, do the learn to paint kits are awesome.
That's what I thought you were asking. My bad.
yeah, no, you're good, Mike. Look at this. All right, so watch this. This Wrath of a Charlatan kit, which I got for $30 on Amazon. You just gotta look
What?
for deals. Oh my gosh, there's
What?
4 of them. There's 4 of
That's
them.
fantastic.
No,
Yeah.
there's more than 4. You have
Yeah.
a Chardalon, you have Drist, you
Okay.
have
Look at this.
Ravenloft.
But $30? That's
This
great.
sculpt painted in the D&D minis from the 2000 series is over $50 itself. Okay, now you could buy this on eBay maybe for like 15, 20, but you might as well buy the whole box. It comes with all these miniatures, and you know they're the exact sculpts from the 2000 series of the Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. I opened this one up. Bill, look at this. Adiug.
Are you talking about the Harbinger?
Yeah, those series. These are Mike. These are the same sculpts. They're identical. They're the same exact sculpts from those series. Dragon Eye, Harbinger, all those. Yeah. Look at this. We don't even have this figure.
Those were really nice sets. I liked when they
Rage
put
Drake.
those sets out.
We don't even have this figure, Bill. I'll have to get this to you.
This was my
Yeah.
very first ever painted job, was a Rage Drake.
Oh, nice.
And I color schemed it after the Final Fantasy Behemoths.
Mm-hmm.
So this is using apple barrel paints, and I never redid it because it's my first one. I'm not going to redo that.
Something wrong with apple barrel paints?
Oh no, I think that's also like if you apple barrel paints, especially for terrain, I'm all for it.
Oh, that's all I use. That's all I use on terrain.
If you're doing terrain,
scrap paints. That's it. You know, that's right. Or those big liquid tests, basics. Woo! Those.
But yeah, this is that Rage Drake that Jay just showed, but painted. You know, the first thing I did, I was gifted Wrath of a Chardalon from a former coworker. She's a contractor and she's leaving contract, and she's like, "Hey, here, have this," and it was awesome because it kind of got me a little bit more familiar with, because it was 4E at the time. There's a lot of it's like playing a watered down version of 4E, but all these awesome minis. And I have a Chardalon, I have Drist, I think I have Ravenloft through somebody who I was storing stuff for, and they left it here and never picked it up.
Ravenloft is a setting I've always wanted to play, and I've never had a chance to.
Yeah, so like looking at the adventure pass, you have, if you're doing Underworld, you have Legend of Drist. If you're doing like your standard, if you're doing Undead, you have Ravenloft.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a standard like adventure, I think the Wrath of the Chardalon's the way to go. They even have like the Tomb of Annihilation. So if you're running Tomb of Annihilation, like out of the box stuff, get that, and it comes with like the big Juggernaut and that kind of stuff there. But like,
we all know the Juggernaut figure, guys.
Yeah, the Juggernaut figure. And then they just have the Elemental Evil one. So if you're doing something even not Elemental Evil but Elemental aligned, and you get a lot of elements on that kind of stuff. So like,
yeah,
if that's I think $45 for the amount of minis you get. While it's a lot of, some people might consider it a lot of money up front for something that you're not sure about getting into. It's worth
a good
it.
way to start. It's a good way to get in, starting with a bulk full of minis. And
so not only the minis, you get these tiles.
Yeah, yeah.
And the tiles are not a replacement for maps and that kind of stuff there, but you can easily put together a room. And if you're one of those people that has to have a visual, you know, like right there, boom, it doesn't hold up so well. But
it works.
Yeah.
It works. All right, so
if you're old like me and don't have any imagination, I need the thing in front of me.
Yeah, I was just about ready to say the same thing too.
Mike, we've been playing this style since we started, and we used to have a mat, and we used to call it the fishy box, and that was all the little metal pieces of like the old grenadiers and stuff, and we didn't have monster figures. They all
rounded.
Yeah, that's what represented orcs for us.
Detail left on them.
My daughter's trying to show everybody her braids.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Well, those are beautiful.
They said
Look
they're
at
beautiful,
those.
baby.
Those amazing. I don't know who did those. I know Daddy didn't.
It wasn't Daddy, no.
So it's just a way to get started with the miniature end of it, and with
Ralph
Reaper
Partha.
paints, you can't go wrong. It just is a fantastic mix. So, Mike, what do you? And look at oh, by the way, that is like one of the hottest, coolest minis up right now from Mike's paint. I love that miniature. Who did you do
Thank
that for,
you.
Mike?
That's mine. That was just a.
Oh.
I just wanted to do. Somebody asked me to do like a strawberry blonde demo on the screen, and I'd never done it before, so I wanted to challenge myself a little bit. And there you go.
Taryn's on. Say hello, Taryn.
Oh well, hey, good evening there.
Good to see you, Taryn.
Hello.
Yeah, we're going to talk some crafting tonight, which is awesome for D&D. All right, so Mike, your 3D printer, you have 2 of them.
Yeah, I have 2 Elegumars.
Okay. Can you please explain why you went with those to everyone? And here I go. Pop them up right there. There they are.
I am, for one, you can print out beautiful minis that you can't get anywhere else, really. I print out like that model that you saw, the Blood Elf there, Sorceress there with the spell dagger in her hand. She is an Artesian Guild mini.
Okay.
And you can't get those anywhere else unless you buy them off of other vendors online, but you can also become a patron and print those miniatures. And they put out a new series every month, and they're gorgeously sculpted miniatures. Now they're very stylistic. They're like a hero scale, I guess you could say. They're not more true scale. So they're beefy, they're cartoony. Think World of Warcraft, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
That's okay.
But I like that style. That is a style that I approach and I'm comfortable with, because a lot of my stuff is I've been described as like a cell shaded painter, so my stuff looks very cartoony. I like colors that pop, and I like hard lines in between my colors. I like separation in between organic and material. So there's a lot there that I like about those miniatures. And 3D printing, there's just so much that you can do. If I want to print out a bust that I see that I find on Thingiverse or another site where you can get really cool downloads, I have that option. I don't have to sit there and wait for mail. I can do it right here. And being a commission painter, honestly, it's a no-brainer in my favor, because there's a lot of collectors out there that want custom stuff, and I'm also learning ZBrush. So having a 3D printer right there to test out what you're actually creating is priceless.
What I'm a novice. I don't know what's ZBrush.
ZBrush is a 3D sculpting program that you use to pretty much make miniatures.
So you want to learn from scratch and you want to make your own.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you look at most of the new Bones Black stuff is mostly done with ZBrush.
Okay.
Yeah, most of it is. Yes.
When did that start? When was that become a big thing? Was it like 5 years ago it started, 10? When it went from actual sculpting and greens to using the computer to do those molds more? Was there a time frame that you know of with computer, the technology? The technology became good enough to do it is what I'm looking at. I was just curious.
Honestly, I just now got into 3D printing over a year ago. So it's been about a year so that I've had them. And I still see people doing a lot of traditional sculpting. I have friends that still do traditional sculpting and make their own molds and casts and everything. So it's not really, I mean, I see a transition, but I really haven't noticed a big, leap from everybody just abandoning traditional and going to 3D. I mean, I still do traditional. I love it. I like to get my hands on stuff. So, and I haven't really started learning 3D yet. I've only taken a couple of courses. So it's a slow process right now.
All right, I got 2 quick questions for you from the audience. Defangel Shadow says, have you had the opportunity to check out the Elegoo Saturn?
Yes, I have. I'm actually looking into one of those. I know I think they're on pre-order right now, but they're really, really beautiful machines. And with the bigger bed, you'll be able to do beautiful stuff like what that young man is doing right there, Brian. I was just going to comment. Those prints look beautiful. I love those, that furniture and stuff. I got to get with you because I need some of that in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Those are ones I found on Thingiverse, I think.
But those are beautiful prints. You have done a great job printing those, is what I'm saying. They're beautiful.
Good, Brian. What do you have? What is your machine that I have up right now? That is awesome.
That's an Ender 3. So previously to getting into 3D printing, I used Fat Dragon Games for their papercraft.
Mm-hmm.
And they are Fat Dragon Games. They are absolutely awesome when it comes to the 3D printing of D&D stuff. They have, if you're looking at Ender 3, and they're now getting into Ender 5, they have videos on how to set up your Ender, how to customize it. Tom Tullis from Fat Dragon has a Kira profile that he keeps up to date. So each time Kira is updated, he gives you these nice profiles that just automatically just give you these gorgeous prints. So that was the decision of why I went with the Ender 3, is because, the company that I was already using for papercraft, when they jumped onto 3D, they're like, hey, here's what we're doing. We're going to support it. We're going to give you profiles. We're going to give you videos. We're going to give you tips. We're going to give you stuff on how to customize it. Like the first day I did, like when I had my 3D printer, I literally pulled up their YouTube. They have a video on how to build the machine. And then the next thing was the first things that you want to build for your machine before you start building minis, like a fan cover, a couple odds and ends, as because being a filament printer, you have a couple more dangly bits than you do with the what's it called, the resin printers. So a little bit of optimization, because the Ender 3 is a little bit more of a, I don't want to say barbaric, but it's a much more uncultured machine. It's definitely more rustic looking, but it it's got great sculpts. Like here is, I'm not sure. I gotta pull this.
Have the orc up now.
Yeah.
Orc. That's a goblin. That was my first. I think. So it's not focusing because, of course, I wanted to focus and it's not gonna.
That's
okay. Like you can spit off the minis or the skeletons for like 10 cents.
So roughly,
there we go.
There you go. So roughly 10 cents per figure.
About 40 minutes or so for like the skeleton.
Not bad.
So there we go. Finally got zoomed in. So this is the other thing is Fat Dragon. All their stuff is supportless. So if you're doing what's it called, filament like I do, there's no supports for me to clean up. All their molds are supportless.
That's really nice.
Yes. And so you get a couple more rigid poses because of it. But the fact that I don't got to spend 20 minutes cleaning up supports.
Oh, amen.
Yeah. I will.
Amen.
Oh, and here's like one of my nice little rust monster. They had a Kickstarter a while back that had all these files, and I got in that, and I think they're getting ready to do another.
Yeah,
they're doing another 3D print Kickstarter, but I don't know if it's terrain or if it's going to be another group of minis.
Yeah,
that terrain's beautiful right there.
Yeah, this is
that is gorgeous.
This is Mike Saxton, Retro Gamer Murph, who's on, and he has like 4 3D printers.
Wow,
look what's on in the background of that picture. Look at the logo. He's watching us play.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not looking at that background. I'm looking at that nice glass. That
Isn't
beverage.
That awesome.
This
ship was done too. He did the boat too. And I got the sale coming up next. So there's some awesome stuff you can do. Brian, Bill, we have those, right? We got a couple of them built.
You should have these because I think whatever I printed for myself, I printed for you as well.
Yeah.
Oh, those are beautiful.
So, and there's like little inserts. These ones here aren't Fat Dragon. These are ones that I got from Thingiverse.
Thingiverse, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, but for both of you, for Mike and for Brian,
Mm-hmm.
pitfalls with the 3D printers.
Oh.
See how much unpainted stuff I have, and that's not even
Where
the start of
can
it.
you begin?
That's the pitfall is printing off way more than you'll ever paint.
Yep, that's one.
Okay.
You want to extrapolate on more because there's several. I'm sure.
Yeah, people should know. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, how about this first? Costs. How much
Yes,
did
upfront cost. Yeah.
Upfront cost. Yep. Lot more than just the printer. Let's get that right out in the open. If you're going to get into it, you're going to need more than just a printer. You're going to need your cleanup stuff. You're going to need your prep stuff, your post, your pre, everything. There's a lot more to it. And it's a hobby within itself.
Yes.
It is not just sit down, plug and play like a video game. You better get prepared to put some time into it to learn it, because if you don't, then you just wasted your money.
I had, from the time I got my 3D printer to the time I printed my first D&D mini, I spent pretty much all my free time after work for 3 days straight of testing and fine tuning. And like now when I change a reel, to adjust my E-steps and get my bed leveled and all that kind of stuff, I can do it in a matter of minutes. But yeah, it's there's learning, there's getting used to programs like Cura, your slicers, all that kind of stuff. It's not what I would suggest for an intro person at all. But if you just want cool stuff, because like you can print more, as I was showing the guys before the game. Here's some of the lightsabers I printed. These are Revan's lightsabers. This one's SWOTOR. No, this one's KOTOR. This one's SWOTOR. Revan lightsabers. I have a Obi-Wan lightsaber hanging off on my desk at work. So like you can print stuff like this too.
Nice.
So it doesn't have to just be used for D&D stuff.
I love this. Brian got this, and Bill painted this up real quick. This is a banded table that you see in our bars. I mean, that is, look at that. I mean, Bill put a little paint
Whoa,
on that.
whoa.
What?
You're showing that, but you're not showing Dungeon Master.
Dungeon Master is painted.
Oh, I left that in the basement. Holy shit.
The
So Mike,
shrine.
when I sent them, Jay asked for a bag of just 3D printed.
I'll run down and get it.
Trainy pieces. I printed out a whole bunch of stuff, and then I sent them a surprise, which was a Dungeon Master from the old D&D cartoons.
Yeah.
Sent
And Bill
them
put it in a shrine.
Nice.
Oh, I knew I forgot something in this whole box of goodies I have here. I apologize. It is really cool. And but this is the kind of stuff that you can just make up a whole, once you get it down. And you know us, the details in the, like, we love our Dwarven Forge, right?
All right.
Okay.
No. Here,
We-
if somebody ever asks me why did I get a 3D printer for D&D
He's
stuff,
gonna roll.
I always link this picture. Whenever it's like somebody's, "Hey, why did you bother with it?" Because you can get stuff. You can just buy it at a store, or you can. I said, well, you can't buy that.
Wow, that's a jerkwater picture to link. That's pretty good, though. I like it, man.
There's a
Banana
whole
Knight.
series of this banana. There's a Banana Knight, Banana Mage. So like somebody's like, why do you do this? Well, because Banana Knight.
Banana Knight. You're my new hero.
Yeah. So, give us some ideas on upfront costs for one 3D printer with all the filament and all to get really going, roughly, just so people can put it out there. $400, counting the printer. Is that fair?
The Ender 5s. Yeah, you're talking probably a $500 investment to get everything.
No.
The Ender 3s are like less than two now.
Right. I thought the Ender 5 is now $250 as well.
$250. But by the time you buy filament, your cleanup stuff, you set up,
No, to get, I can't speak for the resin, but to get into Ender, Ender 3 is what I have. Ender 5 is kind of becoming the new standard, which is what I'd love to upgrade to when I upgrade eventually. I think you can get into Ender stuff, 300.
Okay. Excellent. Now, real quick, going back to paint, I want to show you Mike, you've seen this. Look, Reaper is coming out with these great new, crafts. That mausoleum, the Onyx Crypt, Sitting Crypt. Bill, look at the job he did with that, and Bill did. Okay, look at
It's beautiful.
Now
I love
everything
it.
around it that you see, he made. He made all those walls, the trees behind. Okay, now watch.
I love it.
Look at the inside when I switch this. Look at that detail that is put in there instead of just having it. I mean, there's the other skeletons. That's another Reaper piece, a little sarcophagus.
Oh, you broke that out
I
last
was
night, didn't you?
admiring that before. I
Yeah.
was admiring that before.
Yeah.
That the ruins around the sarcophagus, the bones, all of the foliage. He's got, you know, the vegetation coming out of the cracks. It looks aged. It's so well done, Bill. It's amazing. I love. See, I'm a huge a terrain nerd. I love this stuff because I haven't done as much as I've wanted to because I have so many miniature commissions. So I've really, man, I just want to sit and spend a weekend and terrain it up with somebody sometime. And this is gorgeous, Bill. This is amazing. I would love to have this on my tape.
We used this last night with Blue Box RPG at the end, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it opens up!" I was like, "Yeah," I took the whole thing right off, and yeah, but the detail that Bill's putting into this makes the whole. I mean, it's just like, wow, beautiful. And I just wanted to say that
all the leaves are old tea bags.
yeah, old
and you know
tea
this
bags.
this kind of terrain really elevates your game table to the next level too. People come over, you know, and even people that are new or have been playing for a while, this is what they want. This is what they're looking for in there.
Right, but I think we're kind of missing the point here. This is all really good, and I love that we're polishing each other's knobs. But I think we're missing the point of we're talking like I'm Joe Schmo.
Right.
I want to get into D&D. I want to get into the physical aspect. This is great. Like Bill is like master tier rating with this.
Yeah, well.
I understand that, but that whole piece is
No,
not
that's the allure. That's the sex appeal of it. You know,
yeah, that
is,
piece is from Reapers, not that expensive, especially if you
right. But
order
I
it
don't
through
think
Amazon.
that is for me.
Yeah,
I don't think I would not recommend a piece like that to somebody that's just starting out.
All right,
I think that is too niche.
We can show the cool stuff too tonight. Just a little.
Oh no, I'm not
there.
saying. I am saying. Let's polish each other's knobs all day long.
Oh, that's what we're doing. Wow.
No, I think it's great, and I love it. But I think that we are. Sorry, I got to do this or else I get it really loud. I think we're just missing the fact that like we're trying to get to people that are new to that.
I understand.
You know.
And we have a lot of that in here that Bill's made from toilet paper.
You want to know about how you get new?
All right, here you go. Look at this.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's phone and dollar store phone.
Yes. All right.
That's how you get started.
All right, we're gonna let's show something of Bill's. Let's show something of Bill's that is made from toilet paper or something.
We'll do that here, but look at what we have right now with that mausoleum. What I would say. To like, if somebody's starting out and they wanted to build that mausoleum, you don't need every little bit and piece of that wall. You can leave blanks and gaps in that wall and have like the end posts with little entry points. If you want to go to that detail, you don't have to have every little bit fleshed out there. It's amazing just adding posts to kind of represent starts and ends, what that can do. If you want to get into the physical game, like
absolutely. It's and that's 100% true. I mean, we're spoiled. I'm spoiled. We are for the level of detail that he has. So let's talk about this because this picture is everyday household items right here. And all right. So have at it, Bill, with the farm layout here. What you used to make this? Wait to hear this, guys.
All right. Well, the hay bales around the way that was the coconut husk that you line the bottom of baskets with in the summertime, flower pots from a dollar store.
Okay.
That, a little bit of dollar store foam, I just put a piece of cardboard on the inside, wrapped it, and put a toothpick through it.
Yeah.
Not hard stuff. I mean, it's basic stuff. The pumpkin patch actually was my son's idea.
And it is what?
He was playing in the driveway, and he comes up and he throws a handful of acorns on my workbench in the garage. He says, "Hey, Dad, these look like pumpkins." And I'm like, That's awesome. Let's make a pumpkin patch.
Out of acorns.
And it's honestly it's nothing but dyed it's string, dyed tea leaves with paint, sand, and glue. There's nothing difficult there.
And I'll be honest with you, that piece of terrain sticks out more than any other piece on that table.
Yeah, because it pops.
And it's relatively simple.
It's
The
beautiful.
hayfield is a doormat.
Hayfield's a doormat. Yep.
I cut a piece of doormat up. That's it. And the other one is just it's spackle on cardboard for the overgrown farrow fields. That's
Yep.
all it is. Spackle on cardboard.
And then painted. I mean, just think. All right, so that's pretty inexpensive. And he just made an entire field for us for use with all that, with just all those everyday items. So
Right, and so that's like a good place to start because those
Yeah.
are reusable. Like that's one thing. Like when you're
Mhm.
looking at starting, you got to look at your bang for your buck. Yes, you can get those really cool, sexy mausoleums,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but you're not going to be in a mausoleum every week.
I understand it absolutely.
You know,
So this is stuff that it can be scattered all over the place.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a town, there's going to be hay for the horses. I mean, there's stuff that you can use. You can use it all over.
And with me, I combine this. You can see there's a miniature building authority corn crib in the background. There's some roads. There's a stratagem mat underneath. So and all the Reaper miniatures, and there's GeoHex on the table, and I combine everything up and create a scene for our game. And that's just what makes it so awesome with all the accessories. All right, so Retro Gamer Muff is asking, what do you use? What do you use to base your terrain pieces? I have issues with warping with foam.
Foam's tough if you're really using it for base. A lot of times, if it's large flat pieces like the hayfield, I get MDF board from Home Depot.
MDF board from Home Depot. Okay.
And it won't really warp. You know, a 4x2 sheet is less than $10. If you have a saw, you can cut it. You not get a hand saw from the dollar store. You can cut it. The big thing when I started crafting is I wanted to be able to do it cheap. A lot of the stuff I bought is all from the dollar store. Believe it or not, a lot of the foam comes from the dollar store. A lot of the sand and gravel pieces I use come in bags in the craft center from Dollar Tree. Glue, you can buy better glues. You buy your standard Elmer's, you can buy Mod Podge, you
Whoops,
can buy even tacky glue.
I did that.
All from those. My big head, that's what just people need to see.
Yeah, I did that. That was because that's what happens when I get an in-group chat.
you're welcome for that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that, host. All right, so
many good options for inexpensive gaming. A lot of that, terrain building, a lot of stuff you can get at Walmart that's inexpensive. The craft paints at Walmart are inexpensive.
Mhm.
You don't need to go out and buy a lot of expensive equipment to start. If you're looking to do things on the inexpensive, look at DM Scotty on YouTube. His stuff is really done on everyday household items. Cardboard is his big thing. The only thing I'd recommend if you're going to start, buy yourself a good hot glue gun. Don't buy you can get away with a cheap one, but you're going to end up replacing it. Buy yourself a decent hot glue gun and
With a trigger that doesn't suck.
yeah. If you can, buy a dual temperature one because it does make a difference. You do not want to burn yourself with hot glue. It will blister you.
And how much is a good hot glue gun? And is there a specific brand or make that you guys, suggest?
I mean, a good one,
$20.
$50.
a good one's 50, but a base one's 20. Yeah.
Yeah, the one I use is $20. It seems to work pretty well.
Bill's number one piece of equipment is what, Bill? Begins with a P, right?
What my proxy
Wow, I
is?
thought that's TOS. Jeez,
yeah. So the Proxon was a night and game changer.
Yeah, but that's more. That's an expense. It's
what's that? What is that?
it's
Hot
a
wire
hot
saw?
wire saw.
Oh, I've seen Black Magic Craft use that. He's
Yeah,
got one of those.
if you're trying to build things like if you're doing a building, like Jay, if you put up the picture of Warmonger's Tower, you have
Yep.
that there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I got all your stuff to explain how it's done.
So I got a question to Mike after this one.
Yeah, sure, no problem. There you go. There's warm. Oh, of course I went right by it, you dumbass. I'm talking to
Okay,
myself,
well,
guys.
it's right there in the corner.
That
I mean,
terrain's beautiful.
There we go.
Every one of those is an individual brick. And the thing is, it's over 2 feet tall. So hand cutting all that stuff takes too long.
Plus it lights up at the top.
When you use the Proxon table to cut the bricks,
Yeah.
just a lot faster.
That is and Bill did that by request from Alan for his character, and he built it to specifications, which is very insane. Out of what is that, insulation foam, right? Right?
Wow,
Yeah,
that must be a really close friend. Bill. That's beautiful.
you,
though.
Court.
I'm admiring that. That is gorgeous.
So yeah, that's a great item. So in equipment, not the material cost, not time, to build that, under $20, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
That's it.
Seriously? That's incredible.
20.
Well, you figure,
Yeah.
I buy the 1/2-inch thick insulation foam at your big box hardware store. Whether it's blue or pink, doesn't matter. A 4x8 sheet of that stuff is $15. That lasts me a year, 2 years of building stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So how much of that foam did that thing take?
Maybe a 18 by 18 square, because then you take it and you cut it in half, cut it in strips, cut it in half, and then you cut the individual bricks. Then you got to shape the bricks. I use just to change the diameter. I'll throw them in a coffee can, fill it rocks, and shake them just to texture the stone. So it all rounding and smoothing and put some texture on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, $20 maybe in material, if that.
It's amazing. All right. So one more thing, and then we'll get to Brian's question. This is what we did for the first fundraiser he ever did. This is mega layers of foam insulation. Look at this thing. I mean, that was thick pieces. Yeah, that was your first go at it.
I would have done that a lot different now, but it's that's a lot of 2-inch thick foam.
By the way, to show you how dumb I am, I have this thing right here. I have the.
Is that an older piece than the piece that you just showed previously?
Yeah, it's older.
That's an older piece. Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You've definitely, man, you've upped your skill level like 10 times.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to show is that.
Yeah, that hill is, I don't know, what's that thing? 3 feet across and 2.5 feet high.
It's like Greyhawk's equivalent to Ayers Rock in Australia, right there.
There's a whole cave in the front where the dragons came out of that you can't see in that picture. My son, it's on the circular table downstairs, and my son is playing all over it now. So it's getting use. Absolutely. By the way, I have this right here, as you can see. I have a box full of stuff. I can't believe I didn't show it, but there's the pumpkin patch.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Dyed acorns. Who'd have thunk, man?
Yeah, they're just, I think it was, I forget what Reaper color it was. They're just painted acorns. And then a couple of them, I actually smashed them and just used hot PVA glue filled with sand, so it looks like the seeds all over the place.
Dude, those are going to look great with the Overgourd miniature right beside them.
It's all
right now.
Yeah.
When I start building that cemetery with the overgrown pumpkin patch for the Overgourd, it'll look good.
Hopefully we got the hag of mudwater to go with them by then.
Oh, that'd be awesome. We're so excited for all the new stuff coming out. Brian, shoot your question to Mike.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. We talked about intro stuff. What we want to get into. You and I, we both had a point in our lives, GMing or DMing or playing or whatever, that we decided we pulled the trigger on a 3D printer. Yes, I joked and I pointed out the Banana Night post fact, but really, what is that tipping point for you? When did you decide, like, hey, what I'm doing right now is not cutting it. I want to go to the 3D printer land?
The speed.
The
speed of simply it getting yeah, I mean, it really just having it right there, and the speed of doing it, because honestly, once you get the ZBrush down,
in some of the files there that you can manipulate already, you know what I mean? They have mannequins inside that you can play with and stuff. You can really start creating your own stuff rather quickly with a basic knowledge of the program. So it's that's what I was looking at, because I know once I get into it, I'm going to get more detailed, because that's just my personality. And I really, that was the deciding factor, to be able to print to from get go, starting with my pencil on scratch paper, who knows where, because I take my sketchbook everywhere with me. So it's starting from paper to go all the way to finished product and printed miniature I can send out to my friends and Patreons and stuff. That was the tipping point right there. It's a
So,
no-brainer.
Mike, Gary Julian, who's a big name in the D&D world, especially during the Living Greyhawk days, asked earlier, um, would it ever be down the road? There's D&D monsters that don't exist anywhere, and the ZBrush would be the perfect direction to go with that. Correct? I mean, someone could really crank out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can, that's the whole process. He asked what the tipping point is. That's just the same question, really.
Yeah.
You can start, the Overgord it's based on a creature that already exists, but it is its own thing. You know what I mean? That is created from the beginning on paper, and then now it's a miniature because of 3D printing. Of course, it's not ready yet, but
Yeah.
you know, now I can do that with my own design from beginning and end. I don't need a middleman or anything. You know what I'm saying? That's the genius part of having a 3D printer in the home. That is really it, to be able to create your own stuff and do anything you want with it, edit it, have the control over it, and then be able to print it out and paint it. So that was really, that was my thing, to be to have it all. Was that yours too? Was it a
No,
similar thing, or?
so it's kind of weird because you and I
Sorry.
are kind of opposite ends of the printing spectrum. Like, I don't do much custom stuff. I've toted them several times already. I rely heavily on Fat Dragon Games. Their files are awesome.
Mhm.
My big jump was when I jumped to tiles. So like this tile right here, if I wanted to get this at via what's it called?
Dwarven Forge or
Dwarven
anything
Forge.
else? Yeah.
I mean, for me to print out this piece, this was like 2 hours of time, maybe, and it cost me 60 cents.
I know, it's beautiful. You've got, that's another reason why I wanted to, but I have not making the dive. See, I got to get with you, because that's the route I want to go.
I can build a room and I can set it up. So
Yeah,
Jay's,
it's beautiful.
Jay's stuff is awesome, but the thing, Jay, no offense, it drives me nuts, is that
brittle.
well, not that it's brittle, is that he has the entire dungeon laid out. I can leave it open and have a door, and then I bring the room up and I set the room so they don't even know what the size of that room is until they open up that door.
It's just because
Jay has really good players.
Brian, all right. That's a semantic thing. I could do that too, but I don't.
But for you, like I said,
I know it's heavy.
And they don't stick together like this. Like this, literally, there's a little clip.
I have old stuff.
And Jay would drop it if he had to put it together during.
Yes. All right. So, Mike, explain the difference between playable, play grade minis and museum quality minis, like the Falcon that you did for us that's up right now.
Oh, that's not museum quality. I'm sorry.
Well,
I don't mean to cut on my own paint job, but that's about a step above tabletop for me.
Okay,
honestly.
But it's still it's a nice job, man.
And don't get me wrong, Jay, I'm not cutting on it or nothing. I love that miniature. I had a lot of fun, and I did put some extra time into it for you, because I knew it was going for a good cause, and I knew that you were using it as your boss. You know, but I didn't have much time with all the other commissions I was doing that I really, really wanted to dedicate to it. But the difference, honestly, the difference being is there's freehand, there's sculpting and customization. You know, there's people like a museum quality piece.
I mean, I don't know anybody that's really putting out stuff like that. I mean, I do, but you know, these are people that are just, that's all they're doing. You know what I mean? That's it. They're not painting armies or anything like that unless they're doing it for themselves on the side. You know what I mean? They're not
Got it.
posting
Yeah.
it because that's not their area. You
I mean,
know,
look at that
I think
picture.
you're talking
Look at
about
that.
competition pieces, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that picture, that mini's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, look, just the level of detail there with the.
But still, that mini has got. I can deconstruct that for you. The only thing special I did with that mini was the freehand tattoos I did on that, and even with those, I didn't shade over them with a flesh wash or anything like I should
Okay.
have. I could have blended them in with the skin a little bit more. I didn't highlight the tattoos like I could have. It's only one flat color that I
Okay.
put on there, and I shouldn't be doing this. I'm kind of deconstructing my work for you, but as a commission artist, we have to know when to say when,
Sure.
and when to cut it off by what we're getting paid to do said commission.
Sure.
And I always try to throw in a little extra for my customers, whether it be a cheeky little freehand on their cloak or a tattoo or something, or just an extra highlight. But really, a lot, if you look at painted miniatures, you know, there's a lot to be misled. You know, you can, you know, there's only a couple layers of paint that separate a tabletop quality to, you know, maybe a couple steps up, you know what I'm saying? And that's only a couple of layers of paint and maybe one technique. So, you know, instead of hard edge highlighting, you're blending a little bit. You know, that would be a difference between maybe right before a competition piece and a tabletop
Cool.
piece, you know.
Well, it's good because I didn't really know the levels of difference. You
Oh,
know.
there's a lot of different
Okay.
techniques. You know, you can combine techniques, you know, and some techniques don't look good with other techniques. You know, you really got to play around. You got to find
Excellent.
your zen, I guess you can say, not to be, you know, cheeky, but you know that, I mean, everybody's got their own style and their own way, and it's always evolving if you want to evolve as a painter, you know. So
I appreciate that description. Thank you. Absolutely, because um,
I mean, does it
your
make
work
sense that I describe it good enough for you?
your work takes time. It takes time. You said you painted 2 minis this entire week, right? You said
Well, one
this.
of them was 2.5 feet tall too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh, that's
you know what
crazy.
I mean,
That's absolutely crazy. And it's dedication.
and
De-
I worked on several other projects too. When I say I painted 2 minis, those are 2 minis I did completed.
Out the door.
So yeah, out the door. They're
Okay.
done.
Okay.
You know, one actually came up and picked up the baby Cthulhu today, and then the other one I sent off in the mail. So,
How
but
many, Mike, how many hours did you put on that mini for Motor City Red?
so far about maybe 30.
Yeah.
Hey, can you go to the
Or
dungeon
did you finish
I will.
that
that
one?
I built out?
I will. It should be coming up next.
What was that? What was that, Bill?
Do you have it there, or did you?
Yeah, I have it right here.
So, guys, somebody was asking, like, talking about the cost of Dwarven Forge compared to like 3D print stuff.
Yep.
This here was what I
That's
did
good.
with the Tuma Sakatha, the bottom level of it, and this I think cost me maybe $15 to print.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You can't beat that. That pays for the printer itself.
Oh yeah, man. You've been doing that for a while. Look at that.
It's
I'll
not
tell
going
you,
to focus.
It's okay.
Yeah, the autofocus sucks tonight, apparently.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the base alone is phenomenal. That glow and the OSL effect showing on the casters around her.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Doing it through Zoom is difficult. It just is.
Put your hand in front of the camera and then
He
pull it
tried
away
that.
real quick. That's
Yeah.
no, be in front, like between the model and the camera. That
and
normally
then
works.
pop
for
it
me.
away.
Pop it away because it's got then it'll focus on. See, it's a little better. It's not perfect, but
See, Jason, I agree with you on there that Mike's paints are almost to the museum quality level almost all the time, and he does give himself enough credit.
That.
Yeah, no problem.
I
So,
do appreciate that, guys.
so all right.
not
So
like
there's
this one.
yeah, there's a big discussion about Dwarven Forge and how expensive it is. If you want expensive, try and find a Dwarven Forge Cavern Lake set, right, Frank?
Well, that's
Okay.
20 years old.
Yeah, and I can't. It's the one thing I don't have. It's like $500 minimum.
It's collector item though.
That's
This
true.
is when you're
True.
diving into collector's perspective. And I think that's not what Brian is getting at here. He's getting at cost effective, getting into it. And I agree. And as much as I love Dwarven Forge and it's beautiful stuff, you can literally print just as beautiful stuff, more lightweight, not
Absolutely.
as brittle, and for what do you say, Brian? $15
$15
dollars,
for
man.
what's on that table there. I mean, and so like, and I get to choose my paint schemes. Like,
yes,
I am
exactly.
a
You get to
quick
paint it.
painter. I grab my airbrush and I do nasty, quick jobs.
I do nasty, quick jobs too, baby. That's what it's about. That's when I have fun.
My
man.
stuff is all about. I am not a up close guy. I am a, table play. One of these is really cool. I don't know which one it is. One of these is actually a false door that you can turn it, and it
Ryan, you're
spins.
speaking my language with that, man. So I'm a dirty
Yeah,
painter too. I'm at everything.
There's some guys that take some absolutely wonderful time on the tiles. Like Fat Dragon, they have their Facebook page, and people post these beautiful things. I'm like, I print out like oodles of these, and if I took the amount of time to do that.
Is that your kid?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Brianna's being a good.
All right, so I highlighted this pick from Bill because one of my favorite miscellaneous pieces he did was these walls of all the spears sticking out of them, or the spikes, kind of like in Conan, when they're all making that and all the guys start rolling right into them and Subutai shoots them. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about there, Mike?
I love that was the very first rated R movie I ever saw.
Wow. Well, that was pretty drastic for its time. It was.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Especially that witch seed, man. That was like, first off, that's the first time I'd ever seen two people having sex on screen. That was the first rated R movie I'd ever seen. And then when he turned around, threw her in the fire after he was done with her, that freaked me out. I was like, what did I just do? So that was, and plus I loved Conan because my mom used to buy me the Savage Sword of Conan, the magazine issues, that and Red Sonja and Mad Max and Cracked, all those good ones. And Conan was, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so how were they done, Bill, and cost on those?
Pennies,
right?
Popsicle sticks, toothpicks, and I don't know, 8 inches of foam.
That is it, right? So,
pennies. Yeah.
I really got to work on better lighting.
Popsicle sticks, broken popsicle sticks, toothpicks, foam, and a little sprinkle grass, right, on it.
Sprinkle grass.
And that is it. And those things, I used them, and they were the first ones you ever did. So.
Those are old, really old.
What?
Toothpicks.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna pull out a couple things here real quick. All right, Brian, 3D print. All right, I'm gonna pull out a Reaper thing. I want to show you guys a little effect here that we learned, and we know this one, right, Mike? You got one of these?
Oh yes, I do.
Okay, so Bill,
love it.
So Bill painted this. Now watch this. I did this on the stream the other night. T-light, right?
Yeah, better maybe.
All right. So what I did was we put this color right behind it. Right. I had these lying below it, and then I put the strobe on, and then it glowed and changed color.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Look at that. I mean,
it's amazing.
This is a simple effect. Oh, thank you, Big J. Thank you so very much.
That's my buddy right there, Big J.
Awesome, man. Awesome. This is something that you can do with. You can get an entire pack of these for like $15. And then you can program them in, and you can do all sorts of cool light effects with them. Wait a minute, let me turn this off here. I can figure that out.
Elevates it, really.
Crystal bases out of Christmas decorations to put them in.
I agree, Megan.
Yeah,
little sweetie.
Yeah. All right, so let me show you there. This is another one that Bill has with a T-light inside it. Bill, that crystal formation, right?
Yep.
All right, what else do you have on there is this. Okay, there's a whole bunch of them.
Oh, that it's just
It's big eggs.
it's the quick dried Play-Doh clay, magic something.
Yep.
That a little bit of foam out of a pillow and some little styrofoam beads from the dollar store.
There you go. And they're all in
Nothing
there.
special about it.
You have the Reaper Dark Elf throne there. You have a bunch of other effects, and you have Dwarven Forge. Sorry, Brian. They're the cave set, all together. And I
Sorry,
and
Brian.
miniatures. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm not knocking Dwarven Forge. I just, to me, like when I finally wanted to get into tiles, and I was like, oh, for the price I can get like of one set of Dwarven Forge, I can get a 3D printer.
It's a no-brainer. It's 100%. I'm on Brian's side with it too. I love Dwarven Forge. I think their stuff is gorgeous. But guess what? If you can print it out
I agree,
a
Brian, 100%.
fraction of the price, I'm sorry. There's no.
I mean, look at all that stuff.
Here's
I
my
agree
little
1,000%, Brian. But when I started getting
there's a
Dwarven
table
Forge
for
in
you, Jay.
1990, there were no 3D printers.
Yeah, you know that's
Jay,
right.
Jay,
You know that's
see
right.
that?
So
It's
I
your
see
banded
your
table,
point
baby.
too.
Yeah.
And I do see your point too as a collector, because if I had the money, guess what? I buy Dwarven Forge too.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're in a different position than some people are.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
grown.
Beautiful.
We're all career people playing.
Mhm.
This collection has been going on. I mean, I've been playing since '92. We didn't really start heavy duty terrain
Until 94 or 5. Then because I got
the only reason we geohacked because we were playing BattleTech.
Yep. And then
Yeah, you see this? That's from the
the Yokel.
that's one I painted from one of those board games.
Look, all those figures. Look, you got all the Dark Elves there. They're all from those box sets, guys and gals. That is so inexpensive to do.
Oh, Brian, you got to do the basics, though, buddy.
Yeah. He got on you.
These were some of my early prints, and I never do
So
bases.
wait a minute, you're repainting the miniatures out of the box set?
They're not painted. They're unpainted.
They're not painted. Yeah, I repainted.
Oh, I thought they were painted.
No, look, Mike.
Wow, those are my.
You know how
crafting
bad
jobs.
I am. I even have one of those.
Yeah, look at that.
box
They're
sets.
all in a neutral color. Of some sort. They're all in a neutral color.
Yeah, like these little guys right here. These are awesome. My little cultists. And I do one in each color.
Absolutely, Frank. They're
These
great
were early
deals.
prints. You can tell these were apple barrel because they're all super shiny and
Apple barrel.
Frank, I was
this
on
right
there
here is
today.
actually one of my. This is one of theirs, and this is one of my favorite print or paint jobs I ever did. Is this guy here? If I can ever get it to focus.
So there's different ways to go with things, and one more I wanted to show real quick is the light source of this one. This is all Harbor Town. There's an Arsonville shipwork that I got way in the 90s that's out of business, that resin ship there. And all I did was I took Bill's fires, and here's a fire, and let's talk about how he made this, and then we'll go back to some more 3D after this. All right, so, and you can see this is lit, okay? And it's got a little...
I love those. Those are gorgeous.
So this one has base. Go ahead, Bill.
They're easy. I mean, there's a ton of tutorials. If you just do fire smoke markers for battlefields, I bought a cheap pillow at the dollar store just to get the stuffing out of it, and their tea lights from the dollar store. Ran a bead of hot glue around the tea light, shoved the stuffing on there, and then just from a distance sprayed some black paint on it.
Oh, dude, yours kick mines. I tried to do the same thing and they worked. It looked nice, but like yours for some reason just smoked mine.
Frank says
those are beautiful.
Cost.
Those
no,
are
no
beautiful.
pun.
Cost on this $5.
Not even.
Well, that one has a base that I actually use foam and some, but I don't know. You go to the dollar store, 2 tea lights, $1, and a whole pillow to definitely do hundreds of them. So
Okay.
50 cents.
Yeah, probably not even, right? Boom.
One step beyond that.
So
Well,
the
tea
smoke
light, yeah.
markers, I will say, like the smoke markers, those are quick and dirty too. Like you can knock out 5 of those in like an hour.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, they're easy.
if you want to talk about like getting into, those are fantastic first. Like if somebody was like, hey, I want to do something and you're not sure, that's if you're not sure if you're a crafty person, that right there, those are fantastic because A, you're always going to have smoke and fire at some point, right? And B, they're super cheap and you can knock out a bunch of them in an hour. And guess what? If you don't like the way it turns out and there's 3 that look good and like one that looks like crap, you pick someone that looks like crap because guess what? It's not worth your time to redo it.
Now, Bill took it
Rip,
one
rip,
step.
rip the stuffing off and just redo it. It takes
Bill-
2 seconds.
He took it one step further. He took a Reaper Mini and lit it and put it on the. He put it on the base and lit that one up.
Oh yeah, I saw that fire elemental the other night. It was looking gorgeous.
Yeah, so there you go. So the translucent ones that Reaper makes, you have all sorts of opportunities to do things with that, like
I'm
this.
telling you, Reaper, it's quality product.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're looking to get into a miniature game and you've gotten your bulk miniatures out of the way, if you're looking for specific miniatures, and
Okay.
you want to keep the cost down, the Reaper bones are a great way to go.
I'm going to make an odd suggestion. I want to see what people think.
Yeah, go for
For
it.
me,
It's a great discussion.
I really think one of the things that people should get. Mike, just to show you here, this picture that's up right now of the with the sword racks. Those swords.
I love all those tables. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, those swords print out. It's awesome.
Functional terrain, that's great. Because you can take one out and put it down on the ground just to add some variation. In
so
your
that
armory.
actually ties into what I was just going to say. Is one of the things I really suggest is, like, if people are getting into it, go to Reaper and get one of their bones weapon sprues, not to customize the minis, but to have stuff to scatter on the floor. They have clear ones or blue ones or green ones that you can easily, since they're already kind of look a little magical, you can easily just hit them with like a quick highlight or paint, and it will then become magic weapon. And so you now have this representation of magic weapon moving around the maps. And so those weapon sprues, I think, are invaluable. First off, they're super yeah, they're super easy to paint. So like it's hard to get a weapon wrong. And so if you're not used to painting, or you can just leave just the weapons unpainted as well. You know, I think weapon sprues are a great addition. They're pretty cheap from what I recall.
Well, Phantom, there is an affiliate link that Lord Kazumba has right now that he can pop you open, and you can go check them out, because Brian's absolutely right. The Reaper, any of their terrain that they have, it's cost effective, it's cheap, and it looks great inside of your dungeons.
You know what we're excited for, Mike? All the scenery from Reaper and that Bones 2000, the Bones 5. Oh, we got every one of them, because Bill's like, "Oh my God, I want that." We got every one of those scenes.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah.
Moist.
Yeah. Plus the ship.
Feeding, honestly, for all of us D&D aficionados, and they're passionate about our Dungeons and Dragons, you can't go wrong with anything with that Kickstarter. That is inspiring several new campaign not settings, but just campaigns. Period.
Except for you have boxes of stuff sitting unpainted.
Wow.
That's
why you got to get groups together and have little paint sessions.
Here's the one thing: don't feel like you have to have something painted to put it on the table.
That's true too. That's absolutely true. Now, we have a rule: the player characters we have to have. Player characters is one thing, but monsters and other miscellaneous stuff, it's not the end of the world. Absolutely. If you get one of those Charlon sets or the Drizzt set, or Ravenloft set, and get those minis out because you need them, use them, man. It doesn't matter. It's a great thing. All right, I want to show. I got these two up. So, Brian, those long tables and all. Customization is a great thing. Explain what you did for. We are gonna, and that's why I wanted to have this up. We're gonna do a joust eventually, okay? And COVID kind of killed us with this. Yes, you're absolutely right, Frank. Streaming is different. That's why I didn't say streaming on that. All right, so we're gonna do a festival, because we do a lot of this kind of stuff in our game with a joust, with actual. I got every Reaper mounted mini I possibly could find to get ready for this, and it was going to be a 16-night joust tournament. I said to Brian, I need a tilt wall, and these are actual characters in our campaign, Mike.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
That's nice, Brian.
So I asked Brian to find or help me make tilt wall, because you got to have the tilt wall, right? And so, Brian, show him what you did.
Yeah, let me bring this back down. So I couldn't find a good tilt wall.
Yeah, that's the best light right there.
Beautiful. There you go.
That's gorgeous light right there. Keep it there.
Perfect.
There is a unmounted mini behind there. So we found a tilt wall that was actually made for a taller play spectrum, and I went into Cura and I reduced it down so that way it was the appropriate sizing. There was also an issue because one of these sides was open.
Yeah.
So besides going to Cura, I went into just like the Microsoft 3D builder. I'm not a savvy guy, and I just cut one of these in half and mirrored it. And so now we have a nice solid piece. So no matter what side they play it on, and I have
Caps and stuff.
36 inches of these things, Jay.
I think it's a little more than that, actually.
But yeah, I print out a bunch of them. As you can see, because I didn't do my resizing perfectly, there's a little bit of gap, but by the time Bill gets this painted and whatnot, you're going to be absolutely
Who
fine.
cares? He'll fill it in with like flock or something. That gap ain't shit.
Yes.
And Rage Drake is just going to chomp on it.
This was
Once
going to
again,
be
this is my first mini I ever painted, so I know it looks like that.
This was going to be the coup de grace for our 40th anniversary celebration for the Order of Yule campaign. And with COVID, we kind of pushed this back probably till 2021 or maybe the end of the year. We'll see. But because Bill hasn't even, I got to be fair to Bill. That's a lot of painting. That's going to take forever.
What, to paint this?
No,
Well,
to
that's
paint
why Bill
all the
is
mounted.
gonna have me come over and we'll have a painting party.
I was about to say, this right here is a airbrush guy.
Yeah.
You get
Tim,
some
you're
brown,
correct.
you
Every
airbrush
defense
that, and
But this is
hit
going to be
that
an
with the
Altamira,
dry
Tim.
brush?
It's got to look good. Yeah. So, Brian, thank you so very much for making that. I can't wait to get a hold of that tilt wall. It looks fantastic. And see, that was I went out and I searched I searched
sorry,
everywhere.
everybody put a wacky cam. Just
There was one British company that made it. I didn't even know they wouldn't even respond to my emails. I said, Brian, can you do this? And he found a way to do it. And that's the great thing with the 3D printer, I think, that's just really cool, is that there's something out. And Mike Saxton said it as well. People are doing all sorts of sculpts out there and sharing. What's this Thingiverse? They're sharing on Thingiverse a lot.
Thingiverse, there's tons of sites.
Yeah. So it's a good way. It's a good way to go. Definitely. All right. Here's a question. Let me do this one first, and I'm going to ask a question for both Mike and Brian for Bill. Shipwreck. This was a while ago, and I used this. So this piece here, you see this piece on the right? This piece fit in with the Harbortown Flotsam and Jetsam, and I showed this piece that Bill made to Kirk at Miniature Building Authority, and he goes, "That's better than the stuff we were putting out." So Brian, I'm sorry, Bill, what is
Looks
this
like
made
ruined
of?
docks.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
What is it
It's
made of?
beautiful.
A little bit of foam, toothpicks, balsa wood, and some string.
That's it.
That's beautiful.
yeah.
And the barrel was out of a thing I got from Hobby Lobby at some point.
Not to get all nerdy and everything, but that's got composition. That has layout. That is a gorgeous piece of terrain right there.
Printing that up from my printer, if you had the file, so assuming like you weren't creating it and somebody said, "Here's a file, go at it." I don't think that's a long print job. I think the level of detail you get with what Bill has there, and once again, it's
with the string and all that. Yeah.
Here's the thing, to me, Bill, you went through this as well. Jay, you went through with it. My daughter's 5 right now. I can't just really sit down and spend an hour or two on a craft where I can't, except for at night. But then
absolutely.
I'm like vegged out and I want to play some video games. But I can go ahead and slice a file and then put print and just go walk away and pick it up in the morning.
Absolutely. And
what are video games?
It's a trade-off. So, all right, here's 2 pieces of that shipwreck. Okay, that you see in that picture. Balsa wood again, Bill? This is actual like sticks, right? This one.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a piece of stick. And then the other one, I think that's all. Yeah, just foam and popsicle sticks.
Yep. And there you go. You have your shipwreck in the water. So
and these are beautiful. And the thing I worry about with that is, like, my big issue is I play at a comic book store. I take my stuff to and from. I already hit the issue. Well, no, I understand. I already hit the issue once where I left my prints in the car unprotected.
Oh, they melted.
And I had some warping.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
And so, like, taking that to a comic book shop, I think they're absolutely amazing. And if I would have that break and transport, I would have a bad day.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that, man. That's something that this stuff is for. The stuff we're talking about, we're showing, it could be made inexpensively. I am highlighting this on the streams because it deserves it and because it
Oh no,
gives,
yeah, that is amazing. Like if I
Yeah.
played at home, I think that was a big push for me as well for the 3D printer is one of these pieces breaks.
Oh, you
I
can
have the
reprint
paint
it.
time. Well, no, I have the paint time in it, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not a
True,
craft of
absolutely.
love.
Yeah, the craft and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more personal when you know, not to knock 3D printing, but really it is, you know what I mean, especially if you're pulling the files from somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what Bill did, that's personal. You know what I mean? So if he breaks that, it's going to mean a lot more than if you break one.
Or if I drop it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I
You
think
know?
Jay gave me like about 2 days notice saying I need a shipwreck.
Well, and so
I'm
and
trying
here's
to be better. Yeah, the nicer the models, the larger the Pelican case you need. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Bill.
and here's the thing. Like Bill, you said that that's a relatively simple thing to do, but that's still time. You know, like
Mhm.
That's probably, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 hours to build that stuff, paint
Yeah,
it, pull it
time.
dry, not counting drying time and everything else.
Bill, you've all seen these skeleton piles. How this
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Look, there's even an arm holding a sword in there. How,
See, I want to hear how he does this because to me that doesn't look like something I'd
You
print.
know what that is? Hey, you got something behind you.
Wow. Those are some scary faces right there. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to have
She's waiting for a
nightmares.
filter to kick on.
I am going to have nightmares.
Those are the skeleton army from Dollar Tree.
Just snip them up and
Just snip them up. Every time Halloween rolls around, I just grab a bunch of them off the shelf and save them.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they're easy to snip and add into things, bury them in terrain.
Okay.
You can never have enough skulls and skeletons ever.
Nope. And that's the other thing I'll say. If you are building terrain, and Mike, you probably have these as well. Do you have the Games Workshop skulls?
Oh, tons of them.
your little
they sell
beads.
a box. It's like 350 skulls.
All right. I
For
think I'm
20
through
bucks.
this.
Honestly, right there is the best deal anywhere. That is that box of GW skulls, and unless of course you're printing yours on a 3D printer, that's
Right.
also a great deal too. But 350 skulls and the variety that you get in there is unmatched for the price for that deal. That's the best
I use
deal.
them all the time on things.
Oh, me too.
So, Mike, did you get to? We got this in our Reaper box 1 month, and Bill painted this up. This one here. Look at this. He's got it hanging and everything.
Oh, that's the best, Bill. I need you to build me one of those, dude. That's gorgeous.
It's
I
got some
love
rope
that.
on it and all. Yeah. So there you go.
I need you to build me one of those, Bill.
Look at them.
I would not be proud.
I'm gonna ask, am I the only one that's ever done anything with papercraft?
We never got into the paper, and we even when the Falcon series came out, there was a bunch of paper in there because I had early on. I got the relationship with Miniature Building Authority going back to when they started in 2000, and that's kind of like the then we had the opportunity to get the buildings at that point. So I have not, but papercraft's a great way to start as well. I mean, it is. It definitely is.
I've
So-
never dealt with it, but it looks gorgeous. Some of the papercraft I've seen is just like, wow.
Yeah.
The
Looks great by
detail that they put into it. And from what I hear, some of it, some of the card stock that they make it with is pretty damn durable and good.
Well, so
Okay.
the reason I bring it up is I am looking at. I see how much stuff I have, and I'm thinking of doing a blend of my 3D printed stuff. And I have quite a bit of Fat Dragon papercraft as well because I also do papercraft files. And using, I have all of their, what's it called, village stuff. So instead of printing out village sceneries that we might use here and there, versus like more wildernessy stuff, because I'm not so much of a urban or village type adventure guy. I'm probably going to do a mix of 3D print and papercraft.
That's
Now, I have a question. When you say paper craft, now there's two different kinds. There's the 2D throw down on the top where you only get in the top down view, and then there's the kind that you 3D build.
The 3D build.
Okay, all right, that's what I was wondering. Because I like both of them. I think the 3D build stuff is beautiful, and some of that top down stuff is really, really, really gorgeous stuff too.
So I'll put this in. Here's one of the things I have. I do have some of those top-down things that I will throw on my my playmats. I just got one a couple months back from 1984 Games. They did a Kickstarter with a bunch of like little pieces to modify what you have there.
Mhm.
So yeah, here's something if
I
you
agree,
want to get
Hunter.
into having 3D representation, you're doing a city thing. Here's a bunch of files for folding your own stuff. Now, granted, you got to go print it out, and this is something I would suggest maybe going someplace and printing it on something that's not your printer to waste up your ink. But
what, Brian, is it cost-wise to get involved in it?
and the paper craft,
Mhm.
you got to have good card stock, and
Okay.
then it's the cost of your ink, and that's where you got to weigh
Yeah.
the pros and cons. Let's be honest here, ink is actually pretty pricey.
Yes, it is. And so
Especially-
is good card stock too, because I do
Yep.
illustration and do prints, and let me tell you, that stuff ain't cheap.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's not saying that it's going to be cheaper than 3D print, but it is much more accessible, I
Yeah.
think.
Transport's way better.
Tim's so the ever mysterious Tim just said if you have a laser printer, it's more effective and more waterproof. Inkjet runs. That's according to
Okay.
Tim. So 'cause
Yeah.
Tim has some that he was going to use, and then we got COVIDed out, and he couldn't bring it to the house for his City State of Invincible Overlord campaign.
out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because
I-
you can't have, we couldn't come in person, so Tim had a whole setup in paper, right? That he'd been working on for a while, and I felt bad, but we'll use it another time.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's definitely. I haven't used a whole lot of it. What I've used of it, I've really liked, and it's one of those mediums that I never
Oh, cool.
got into as much as I would like. And like I said, I'm debating on for my cityscapes using papercraft. Going back first off because I own the files, and so to actually use some of these files, I think is going to be nice. But like I said, it's Mike already called it. Like good card stock is going to be pricey,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
good print. If you want to have nice inking, here's where I think it might just be best to say, hey, Staples or whatever, come print this for me.
Honestly, when you get down to it, 3D printing, in my opinion, and let me know if I'm wrong, Brian, but in all, 3D printing, as long as you know what you're doing with your prints and setting up your supports and stuff, and getting files that are good, and not crap files, because you can get bad crap files that you can waste a lot of prints on. I'm sure Brian has seen those too.
Yep.
So, but I honestly, to me, you can't. 3D printing is the way to go money wise, because the initial cost is it. Then all you got to do really, if you take care of your stuff and do preventive maintenance, clean up properly, do everything properly, your machine's gonna last unless there's manufactural error, and then you just contact your manufacturer about that, and they should back their product. But I think in the end run, 3D printing, man.
Oh yeah, no, I think 3D printing was definitely going to be cheaper, but there's
Mhm.
also the concern of I've talked to a few friends and they're like, oh man, you have a 3D printer, and there's the concern of there's still, I will say, it's not proven one way or another, but there's concerns with 3D printing on health.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean, you're
that's
essentially
true.
for PLA, which is what I do, filament printing. You're melting plastic and having it solidify into a different state.
All right. Big question of the night. Mike, Brian.
Why isn't Mike drinking with me? Because you're
Nah,
telling me he's
because
drinking
Mike,
with me.
because it's Sunday night. I finished. All I had was one of my ciders, and I'm good. So here's the question: we want to attempt to get Bill a 3D printer for a lot more use for us, so that Brian doesn't have to ship stuff over. I know he does it and it's no big deal and it's appreciative, but what one should we get right now? If it was right this minute, what would you recommend?
What are you printing?
Exactly. That's going to be my question. Because if you're printing what Brian's printing, you need what he has. If you're printing what I'm printing, you need what I have.
Most of it is going to be terrain pieces, probably.
Then you need Brian's deal. You need to go with Brian's because it's going to be better. Elegoo is not a terrain piece. I'm sorry. It's not going to be cost effective for it.
What's your size that you can print on that?
Oh, it's not very big at all. It's the plate's only
like
that, and you've got, I think, 5.5, 6 inches is as tall as you can print.
I was about to say the Ender 3 can do 8.5 inches cube.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are way bigger. You could do terrain. That is what you need.
Yeah.
So.
But the Elegoo Saturn's going to have a bigger plate, right? But that's just
you're
coming out now.
still going to be paying a lot more for resin than you will for the filament. You know what I mean? It's not going to, even if you do it hollow. I'm sorry, Brian's the way to go. He's got the Ender would be the way to go in my opinion.
Okay.
Yep. So looking at the Ender 5 is, so first off, Ender has, even if you don't use Fat Dragon stuff, they keep a running profile for Cura for Ender 3 and 5. And as you've seen, like, I'm getting absolutely awesome prints with their profiles, even if I'm not printing their stuff. They really, really take into consideration using these printers, and it's awesome. For a roll of filament, which is 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds, I can get, it's about $21, and I get the PLA Plus, which is a little bit better quality plastic. I can easily get to 20 pieces of terrain out of that for $20 easily. No, I would say double that. I can get about 40 pieces of terrain.
That's
a piece
amazing.
of terrain is about 50 cents.
Amazing.
Okay.
And amazing.
Yeah, one of those tiles that I showed, depending on what you're doing, but like this guy here is probably like 60 cents. You're going to have a little bit of waste and that kind of stuff there.
And what's the ridge lines like that on that? I want to ask the detail, because I noticed on the filament printers you get those.
It's pretty good.
You
Look
get
at
those.
it.
That's gorgeous. That's beautiful. That's
very.
That's acceptable to me. I know it's not focusing, but I can tell it, bro.
Yeah.
I've experienced enough. I've looked at enough 3D prints.
All right,
that's beautiful.
Here we go. Let me turn this on. Let me go down to some of my unpainted stuff.
And how much is the Ender that you have that we're discussing right now? How much is that?
Mine, I bought it for $200.
What?
Yeah, I think they're down to like 170 now.
You're
kidding
me.
You have to put it together yourself. So like here is an unpainted one. That's the part that was on the bed, so that doesn't matter. But here's your sides. Oh, you were focusing absolutely perfect for me earlier.
We can see it, Brian. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We can see it good enough.
I mean, you have some ridging in there, but because
that's perfect right there. That's perfect pick right there.
So that's
Brian. We have all that ready. Bill's getting to it when he can, man. It's just like, it's beautiful stuff. All those shelving. Oh man, it just makes the underground scenery, which I won't say which one to you again. I don't want to drive Brian crazy again. I mean, look, it's got the wood finish on the sides. I mean, it's great.
So there you go. There is a really good example of the side. You don't see banding or anything like that.
No, to me, that's acceptable. If the Ender is putting out quality like that, and how long of a print was that?
This one here, maybe an hour, I think.
And how did it position when it started off the bed like that?
Yep. Yeah, if you look on the backside, there's the piece that was on the bed.
No supports. Don't need to set it up.
Nope, no supports. Supportless.
Just pop the file.
All these minis right here.
That's it.
All these minis right here, supportless.
I'm sorry, but that's the way to go. You sold me. I think I'm going to buy one.
Do you want to?
The terrain alone
You're in Southeast Michigan. You come hang out with me for a day, baby.
There you go.
I will. If you're inviting me, I will come out there. Because I want to learn it.
He's way up in the cold.
There you go.
No, he's 20 minutes away from me, literally.
Yeah, you know what we should do,
I'm
man?
even closer because I'm actually Ypsi Township, not Ann Arbor.
Oh,
And-
you're Ipsy. You are totally 20 minutes. I'm Newport. I'm 275 in Telegraph.
Oh yeah.
So, he's also invited to PA. Megan Haynes says to you.
Oh
everybody.
yeah. That's
Megan.
Phoebe's and Megan are beautiful
Megan,
people. in the
we're
community.
all South Jerseyans. Are you in the western side or the eastern side of PA? We're all right outside Philly, so it's a small world. Definitely. All right. So
Well, hopefully we'll have PAX Unplugged and Mike will be able to come out to PAX.
Absolutely. That's the plan. We still got to get Reaper behind that.
Scranton's part of my sales territory, Megan. I'm in Oliphant all the time, and Dunmore and all those up there.
I'm gonna grab another.
Yeah, Megan used to work for Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm in Scranton a lot. I have a big customer up there in Oliphant, so yeah, right nearby. Yep, absolutely. So Brian explained to me the difference between the Ender 5 and the Ender 3. It's 4-post to 3, and I don't understand what that means. Mike, do you know that terminology? It's a 4-post instead of a 3, maybe. Okay, I wasn't sure what the difference was. Oh, by the way, guys, this is Mike Saxton's. Look at that stuff he printed. How many hours of material did that take on 4 printers? And Mike,
who is Mike Saxton?
Mike is
now
Retro
in
Gamer
here?
Meth.
Right on.
Here.
Well, I tell you what, right now, I don't know who you are, but your stuff, I'm a fan of you.
Yeah, he's.
That's all I'm gonna say, because that's gorgeous stuff. Right
He
there.
has
I won't get with him.
2 Ender 3s, a PrintBot Simple Metal, and an Ancubic Photon. He's got 4 3D printers, and this is more of his stuff too.
Yeah, Anycubic Photons are nice machines. That's an Elegoo equivalent, pretty much.
Okay, Brian,
I
can
didn't.
you explain the difference between a 4-post and a 3-post? Between the 5 and the 3?
The 4-post and a 2-post.
It's a 4 and a 2-post. Okay.
Just stability.
Okay.
That's pretty much it from what I understand. But even then, there's better. I haven't really looked into the difference between the Ender 3 and 5. I just know the Ender 5, like print quality is better than what you're getting with the Ender 3, mostly because it's a 4-post. It's more stable when you're moving the axes and whatnot around
There's
the
a
hot end.
difference with the table and all that stuff too, I think.
Was that?
I think there's a difference in the way they heat the table as well.
Could be. So I print on a glass. I actually print on a mirror. I went and to Home Depot. I bought mirrors, cut them in half. I spray them with hairspray, and I print with that because it gives you a much more level thing. I also think the Ender 5 is auto leveled, where the Ender 3 is self level. You have to level it yourself. Manual leveling.
Let's go through a little more of Bill's crafts here as well on his style. And we have a winter wonderland. I got these winter mats from Stratagem, and I said, Bill, we don't have any winter trees. And what did you do?
That's my favorite. That's my favorite terrain he's done right there, to be honest.
Well, it's the trees were actually pretty simple. I mean, they're just store-bought trees from I think I got them in Michael's and Lowe's from the Christmas tree stuff. You set up at your house. I just took the big plastic bases off, put them in XPS foam. The snow effect is just white glue with a little white paint and white sand.
Yeah,
the paint jobs are pretty. There's nothing special about them. It's light gray spray paint over top of Mod Podge. Black. I base stuff. Spray paint. You gotta watch using spray paint when you first start doing terrain. You gotta be careful with it. You have to learn how to use it. But just so you know, when I build terrain, all my terrain I use combination. Some people call it a bunch of different things, either PLA glue, Mod Podge, tacky glue, mixed with black paint. And then I paint that on everything. Just to seal the foam, and it hardens the foam. Makes everything more durable.
All right. How'd you do this mound?
That mound is actually made out of expandable foam insulation, out of the spray can. And then I hand carved it.
Yeah. So
I love it.
It is so cool, Mike, to have seen by fall, winter. We can do time of the year terrain, which is just awesome for our game and for what we do in our campaign. And it's just, and the stratagem mats are they're by far they're beautiful. They make they make it pop, and then we go with all the stuff that Bill has done here. Throw in some great Reaper miniatures, and you have a home run. And Bill, this one, the sunken. How do you do that look to make it look like it's a swamp?
Oh, it actually is. It is a swamp. It's
that one's
artificial
sticky.
water. That one didn't cure right, but it's 2-part resin.
Okay.
It's poured 2-part resin, and that's one of those things that you can get it at most of your craft stores. The big trick for that kind of stuff, that's kind of glues or resin setups are about $30. Look for the coupons whenever you can get them at Hobby Lobby and all this 50% off. That's when you buy that stuff. Don't buy it any other time because it's too expensive.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just poured 2-part resin.
All right. A lot of these trees you made, not that one tree. I think is a Whiz Kids, right? But you made the other, a couple of the other treants, like the animated treants, right?
No, I don't think those ones are.
I went by it. Okay. All right. Well, here I want to ask this one. This is one of his. I mean, this is amazing. That one. All right. How did you make?
My favorite piece I've ever done.
That is with the skulls in the tree.
It's
That's
you know what? I'm not a
nice.
sculptor.
Yeah.
I'm not a sculptor, so that was one of my first attempts. I made 2 Ents prior than that, which were laughable, but it's basically it's nothing but bent coat hangers, rock from my garden, and just air dry clay.
And the skulls, the skulls from those sets, right?
So yeah, the skeletons are from the dollar store. I think the skulls inside the tree are part of the Games Workshop, and the smaller branches are just railroad trees.
How much time did that take? Because this is impressive. I mean, this is super impressive.
That was a lot of dry time and stuff. I'm actually working on a new tree now, something like that, but a little more lively. I don't know, probably 15 to 20 hours.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of dry time when you're working with clay. It's just Daz clay. There's nothing special about it.
It's an awesome piece, man. It's really an awesome piece. So, Mike, what are you looking forward to like making or doing like in the near future? I'm going to ask all 3 of you guys that, but Mike, what are you so excited about? What you got coming up as far as a great craft or a great, like, can you explain this one too? This piece, we haven't talked about this monster piece. It's the Cthulhu.
Yeah, it's a game piece. It's actually a game board for a game called Cthulhu May Die.
Right.
And it came out as a Kickstarter. And the model that you're looking at, there's only 3,000 in existence on the world.
Man.
So the guy who commissioned me to do this is a local. And he's an avid board gamer, avid gamer. And just wanted a collector piece for his home. And he actually, another one of my commission people that I do armies for 40K actually hooked me up with this guy. So it was a pleasure to work on. It's a big piece. It was a challenge because when you're painting a piece that big, it's hard to get, a lot of my job relies on being able to see what I'm doing, and you need a good light source to be able to do that. And when you have a piece that big, it's kind of hard to set up your lights to work with it. And I can't really work outside, paint would dry, so on and so forth. Even with a wet palette, it wouldn't be feasible. So it was a challenge to do this piece, but it was also a lot of fun.
And you put a mega boatload of hours into this, I'm assuming, just because it's just this was.
Yeah, it's over. It's definitely around the 60-hour, 70-hour mark.
Okay, wow. It's and you said there's 3,000 of them, so that is just unbelievable.
Yeah, there's 3,000 of them. Yep.
That one we discussed. I love that one. You know what? I love her ripped abs. It makes seriously. It makes the whole sculpt to make it look real. You know, it just
That's the detail the sculptor put in it, though. That's the one thing about miniature painting. People look at it in a complicated way. All it is paint by numbers, essentially, on a 3D canvas. The sculptor puts, if it's a good sculpt, that is, there are miniatures that there's bad sculpts out there. We've all seen them. But if it's a good sculpt, the sculptor does their job. You have the canvas there. You have everything you need. It's up to you to fill in those pieces, the organic pieces, the material pieces, the metal pieces. This is up to you and your creativity and your limit to your imagination to really fill in those blank areas. So
awesome. Really awesome. That one those big guys we discussed the last time. I love that one there. I love that piece.
he's a lot of fun. That's a GW piece. You talking about the guy on the maggot crown rider?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is like this one here is a wood nymph or something, or
That is a tree spirit from Monument Games from Creature Caster.
oops, sorry.
So that's a like a 75 millimeter model.
Okay.
The one that was previous, the tree
Let me
spirit.
get that back up. Yeah, that's another fantastic one. There we go. There's that one, and there's that. So, what are you looking forward to doing, man, in the near future?
Creating my own stuff. I'm working with another sculptor too. Actually, a couple of sculptors, and just trying to get my own stuff created and out there. Try to concentrate more on my Patreon and elevate the stream a lot more. And I'm trying to reach out to a lot of other D&D, D&D people and people in the business to really try to see, what gamers really want. I know what I want as a gamer, but I want more perspective, more inspiration from what other people want to see on their table, because I mean, that's really where it is. That's where I draw my creativity from is from others ideas and inspirations, and just go from that. And I just want to see what people see, what they want on their table, what they're sick of looking at, what they want changed, you know what I mean? And create, you know what I mean, for D&D, really. I love role-playing games. And I'm also been toying around with I was a huge fan of Spelljammer. So I love the fact that you could travel to Kryn from Greyhawk, or you know what I mean. That was just, to me, that was awesome to be able to play in all three campaign worlds, just because somebody came up with Spelljammer. I loved it. I know a lot of people hated on that, but that was one of my favorite things. So I started sketching out a couple of designs for some Spelljammer figures.
Oh, nice. That's great to hear. And one thing with Mike having his Twitch channel, and I having my Twitch channel, and a lot of the community is like connecting. And Frank at Nightheart Gaming, we have attempted to take the D&D streamers and the crafters and kind of overlap them a bit. I think that's been great, Mike, for both of us and the whole industry, to make that connection between the gamers and the crafters, and really help each other out. And I think it's a wonderful moving forward. Hopefully it continues too.
Honestly, the community is what's really driving everything that I've been doing lately. You know what I mean? I can't.
Yeah.
None of this would be possible if it wasn't be for the friends and the creatives that I've met through this community. Like Bill and Brian now, and several other people that we're all associated with. And that we know of, and Nightheart Gaming is a huge part of that with Sidwee. Those two, such a great addition to this community. You know what I mean? That so creative, always have beautifully painted miniatures. Your two streams, that's my D&D staple, really. So this is where I like to go, and your audiences always have creative outlooks, and always commenting on the games, and it's good. It's a good thing.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate that, and I know Frank and Ann. I'm assuming are watching as well, and they would say thank you to that too. And the service that you do for everyone's invaluable, and I'm really really was excited you were here. And I know we're kind of winding down a little bit here on the discussion, and so
That's a shame because it's been a great night.
it is. Well, you know what? This is the first of many. Then we could do this. We don't have to make this the last one. We can talk. We can talk a little late too. We can go run a little bit late. There's nothing that says we can't. So it's all good. I mean, the great thing about it is we have bounced around for a lot of topics, and and discussed many different things into the world, and it's all goes into the crafting. It goes into D&D all together, and that's just the wondrous thing about it. So, Brian, what are you looking forward, man? Like, what are you looking forward to do?
So I am looking forward to my play date that Mike and I are arranging.
Yeah, me too. I'll be honest. Yep.
So
That's
finding
awesome.
out that we're so
together.
close. So I think I told Jay this. My group is just getting their keep, or their trading post is what they're getting. And so I'm kind of trying to design this. First off, I suck at Incarnate, and I am slowly learning, so don't laugh at my Incarnate map. But kind of getting some aspects of this transported or, put on the table. Granted, I will say COVID times, my group has really fallen back in love with Fantasy Grounds. And so we're talking about doing
Makes sense.
Which is awesome. Not to interrupt you, but I have got the Overgored isometric design coming for Fantasy Grounds.
That's
just
awesome.
to let you know.
All right, I use Fantasy Grounds all the time, baby.
So there you go. That's an asset that you will be able to have and implant into your Halloween games, sir.
I will buy 7 of them.
So
no need, you know me.
So we gotta get Mike into one of our 5e games, man, Brian.
I would love that.
We got it because it's Anna Meyer, myself, the Naz, Will from Return of the Bandit Kingdoms, Bill when he feels up to it, he doesn't like 5e. So
it's all right, Bill. You know I'm always gentle with you, baby.
I wanted to watch the stream last night, but it was my anniversary, so I didn't get to watch.
yeah.
I'll play any edition. I don't care. I'm not biased. Just don't be fourth. That's it. No 4.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, so that's my thing. Like we're talking about when the comic book shop opens back up, we're probably going to do, because right now we do 2 weeks with D&D, 2 weeks of Call of Cthulhu. Another guy runs Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. And so we will probably do 1 week in person for D&D, 1 week on Fantasy Grounds. And here's the thing, like I absolutely love playing in person. I love throwing down the minis. I love throwing down the maps and the physicals and all that kind of stuff. I also really love just being able to sit back and like have a beer while playing D&D. And I know it's different for a lot of people because a lot of people play at home, but where we play at a store, there's driving, there's responsibilities, it's a little different.
Yeah.
So
that's
not that I have to have a beer when I do D&D, but it is nice to have that option out there. Of
exactly. It's one release right next to another. It's euphoric.
Right. It's kind of a joke because I told Jay I wasn't going to have a beer tonight. He said, "Oh, well, Mike's going to have one." I was like, "All right, well, I'll drink some."
I'm not.
I lied.
I'm drinking tea out of an Adepticon glass.
So it's this running thing that anytime I'm on Jay's show, even on a Sunday night, which is typically when I don't ever have drinks. I'm normally Fridays and Saturdays, and that's it. So it's this running thing of whenever I'm on Jay's thing, I always have to have a beverage because my old bugbears and brews thing that he likes to throw in my face.
Because it was good.
I learned my lesson
show.
about drinking on streams.
I mean, I've linked it already, guys, and I'll link it again. Brian has some so unique ideas for 5e for Greyhawk in his Obsidian portal. Just take a look at it. It's awesome.
Yep. So right now, I will say coming. It's heavily under construction. I don't think if anybody ever looks at my Obsidian portal, I'm cutting out the recaps as much as I like them. They're more for me than they are for the players, and that's the way recaps always are. Realistically, let's think about it. GMs want to reflect on what happened in the story and all that kind of stuff. But I am working on rules for trading post, or a stronghold. So
good.
We are it's going to be a little different though because my group, they have a magical stronghold that they just feed money in and buildings appear. I think that's my easy way out of not having to deal with workers and time passing and all that kind of stuff. So
Well, Brian, it's always I always appreciate everything you do for me, and for the. I'm so glad that about 2 years ago you listened to me. And you went off from Forgotten Realms to Greyhawk.
I just wonder where's Bill's
Shirt. Well, I got to get Mike a shirt now too.
Have fun finding one that's gonna fit me. Like I said, a hoodie, you beat have better luck with that. You know,
Bill's
helps
Bill's
too. I'm
a
also
holdout.
wearing
Even
Man
Tom
United.
and Walt, Tim all
guys,
have
give
shirts.
me 1 second.
Yeah,
I
no
just
problem.
need to make a restroom break.
No
So I'll
problem,
be back
man.
in just a few minutes.
No
Please
problem.
don't leave without me.
I won't. I promise.
Wallflowers.
We won't
That's
do.
fine.
We'll do a little shout out from Bill here now. So
The
all
next
right.
thing I
So
want to do is I want to do my touch ups on these guys. That's these are almost done. I just want to touch them up. That's non
excellent.
D&D related, but there's my nerdiness.
That's okay. It's okay.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely.
It's crafting. It doesn't
It's
matter.
crafting. Definitely. So, Bill, what are you looking forward to doing in the near future or coming up?
You know what? I don't have time to plan other projects because I got too many things to paint now.
Bill, do you have the same chair as I do? You do.
Oh, you guys are
It
special.
might be. Yeah, it might be.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
I mean,
know.
we planned that. That's like wearing the same outfit. We are using the same chair.
Yeah.
Are you using the footrest right
yeah.
now?
A baseball cap, yeah, maybe Frank, a baseball cap, but it just we'll see. I've gotten requests from a lot of people that want T-shirts, so I may make a T-shirt up. I mean,
Bill, are you using the footrest right
I
now?
love the collared shirt, but the T-shirt requests we may start making them up.
No footrest at the moment.
Okay.
Right.
You know what? I like the footrest, but I am so antsy today. I just can't sit still.
So, yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, things coming up. I got a lot of painting to do.
For the new group.
I got stuff to paint for the new group. I got.
Can you show some of them right there? Do you have the one?
Well, the only one I've started to get changed over. Let's see here.
Right.
But the problem, it's going to be blurry.
She's a fighter.
But yeah, that, and I got.
She wears red weave, which is.
It's going to be a fire elementalist.
Yeah.
A couple dwarves.
Yep. One is an NPC. One is Waltz, fighter / maester.
That's all I've got. Oh, and I'm sorry, I do have listed here.
Yes, that's my ranger mage.
I got 3 more minis on the way, so I got 7 minis to paint in the next. So 7.5 minis to paint in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, but if we push it back another week, it's not the end of the world, too, man. So don't think you have to make it on time.
And I want to paint Orcus at some point.
Yes. Well, that is an Orcus. That's someone else, isn't it?
Yes.
Do we have a name?
We did. What did we? Nothrog, right? Something like that.
Nothrog the Bound.
Yes.
Nothrog the Bound. I had a little discussion about that earlier on. Was with Casey about the plan of, because he talked about how he had some demons in Living Greyhawk, or he had an idea with what he was going to run at Virtual Greyhawk Con, and I said, well, we have this. Bill came up with this idea for a demon, a son of Orcus that no one knows about, and he's like, "Oh my God, that's a great idea!" Because he couldn't stop laughing about the boogeyman of Altamira. He just laughed his little behind off of when I told him that story. All right, so some quickie and announcements here. Brian, myself, Anna Meyer, the Nazrat. And if Will's on from Return to the Bandit Kingdoms, I always jump the gun. So we'll be a team on a game show D&D that will air sometime on YouTube in October. With for some reason, someone thinks I'm important, and they asked me to lead a team.
I don't know.
So yes, and it's 5e. So I said to Brian, I talked to Brian a couple weeks ago. I said, Brian, you got to help me out here. We're gonna get slaughtered. We're gonna get our ass kicked.
I
So
can see a lot of 5e practice rounds.
oh my
coming up
gosh!
here, boy.
So
Ooh,
like
I
I'm gonna
wanna
be
get
the
in
de
on that.
facto leader, and Brian's gonna be the one talking. So
I want to get in on those.
I've
practice
been
rounds.
told that it includes Joe Manganiello has a team. This is what I've told. Stefan Picorni has a team, and I guess hey,
Oh,
I
this
don't
is
know about the
exciting.
other. It's yeah. So
This is exciting.
One of the
This is
things to just
exciting.
realize about 5e is
Yeah.
color spray sucks in 5e.
yeah, well, it's fantastic in 1e.
It's fantastic in every other edition.
Yeah. So
I don't know why they're just like 5e. It's your turn. To
note
suck.
that we accepted to do that, and we'll be.
Did you? I'm not gonna
taping
bust your
it.
balls right now, but did you ever?
Yeah, I
ask
did.
the
We're
question?
fine. We're
Okay.
fine, like I said. Yes, you're busting my balls now. You don't need to bust my balls this very minute on that. Yeah, about the cameras. But yes, we accepted to do that. We'll be taping it probably in July or August, and it's on YouTube, and the shows will show in October, and there'll be multiple teams. Yeah, you like that, Mike? This is my life.
You don't bust balls on a person from
He does
Jersey.
though, but
You
that's
don't
part
bust balls on somebody from Jersey. Sorry.
yeah, North Jersey, maybe not South. So, yes, I hope so. I just we're going to be playing characters, Frank. We're going to be playing. It's not. Yeah, we're going
They're
to be in a
pre-gens, though, right?
dungeon with characters and have to get through it. So it's going to be a game. It's
I
gonna
will
be a
tell you,
game.
I told my wife about this, and she really struggled with the concept. She's like,
Yeah, well, it is a new concept, but Dwarven Forge
Well,
is
but it's
sponsoring
not.
it, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be yes, it's gonna be cool. I just wanted to throw that out there, and that's all I can say.
as long as
right
we don't
now.
come in last place.
What's that?
As long as we don't come in last
I
place.
hope I want to win, man.
I mean-
Oh, I did. You guys have got to have practice rounds.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're
You
gonna get some
have
strategy
to.
and stuff set up. I told the
Have
people
to.
running it, I did not want to be the first one through. That's my only stipulation. I don't want to be first. So get the kinks out on someone else. So all right. Wow, what a great discussion tonight.
Now they're gonna put you first.
Yeah, we'll see. It could possibly be. I should keep my
You're
mouth
gonna
shut.
go 100% first.
Yes. That's cool, Nixel, man. I love battle royales. We used to do them all the time. All right, so since I roll so bad with my other stratagem dice, I got this Ackless set, which it says, because I got some more in here, and I gave one out and Phantom won it last night. Swamp Ooze with Amethyst colors. Now, I'm going to need this. We're going to give away these two Mike Disney signed overgourds right now, and I have my list of subs that are eligible. So I'm going to roll some dice for that, and then I'm going to close out the one for everyone else. But it's getting long. Thank you, guys. It's getting longer and longer every week, and I really appreciate it. And as Brian says, I don't have as much of a chance to win stuff like I did 2 years ago. Well, yeah. I had I had 15.
It's with a growing stream. That's the thing you get, there, bud.
I never said that.
I know.
I didn't chance to win it all.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so here we go. This
You know.
is the sub giveaway. Keep on signing up for the other one. Here, let me pop this up here. Whoops, there's a shout out, Mike.
Ooh.
There's a sign up there. Here we go. All right, number 1. It's in the top 20. You have you have a chance, Brian. I rolled a 1. All right.
Good luck, everybody.
If I roll a 1 on this, Brian wins because he's number 1. Naz is 2. Rox is 3. This is all out of the old
Oh,
subs.
hope you don't have to send it to freaking Naz.
Here we go. That's
No
okay.
offense, Naz.
It
I mean, it's
doesn't
just-
matter. I'll
I
send
know
it to the UK.
Where's Naz? Where's Naz?
He's
He's
UK.
in the UK.
Yeah, the Nazrat lives in the UK, and he's our oldest subscriber. That's not a personal friend.
He beat me by like a
Yeah,
day
he's
or
at
two.
23 months. Number 5. Oh, you're not gonna believe this.
Mike Disney.
Nightheart Gaming.
Congrats, that's awesome.
Nightheart Gaming, Frank.
Gaming.
Frank and Nightheart Gaming won. Unbelievable. All right, Frank. So there you go. Yes, you did. You won, Frank.
There you go. Frank got a
Yeah.
signed overgourd print.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you very much. There you go, man. All right, now keep on. Anyone else want to sign up? Please sign up now. This is general. Everyone's welcome to sign up for the general one. All right, for the second one, for the Mike Disney signed overguard print.
I gotta put mine in a frame.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
should,
Needs
man.
to be right back there on that wall.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Remind me, I got something to bring up after this.
Sounds good. Oh, absolutely. Like I said, we can stretch it out as long as you guys are fine with that. All right, here we go. I'm going to close this out. Hopefully, I don't crash the stream. No, I'm just kidding. Let me see how many signups we got here.
Well, Nightheart, when they release the miniature, I'll paint you up a miniature and you can put it up there with your
Jim.
print, man.
Let me make sure you're in there, Jim. I think you may have to capital D that. Capital D that, Jim. I haven't closed it out yet. There you go. You're entered. There you go. All right, cool. Here we go. We're gonna crank this up here. Entries are closing. The winner for general signups is Pat. Oh, I closed it, Pat. I'm sorry. Corey C. Lund, who complimented me 3 times on the stream tonight. So it's kind of I didn't. It wasn't. It was. I can't.
It's rigged.
Yeah.
It's rigged.
Corey.
They cheat. It's rigged.
Yes.
It's always rigged.
Yeah. Yes. Assers now. You guys are busting it on me there. So Corey, you win. Congrats, Corey, and it'll get those both out to you. All right. So, Mike, thank you for being so generous with those.
Hey, any time. You know what I mean? The Overgourd is there for the community. It was created by the community, and I just love to see everybody excited about it. You know, some people think he's goofy. Some people, are definitely embracing the idea that I have behind him, which is that he's a murdering, rampaging psychopath of, no moral bounds, like Jason Voorhees and Leatherface and the rest of those guys, and you just can't get rid of him. He keeps coming back. He's gonna get you, no matter how fast you run. He's gonna get you.
Mike, did you ever play World of Warcraft? Every Halloween, what's that thing that comes every Halloween?
The Headless Horseman. The Headless Horseman.
That's what it reminds me of. It's
that's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a reoccurring Halloween horrible spirit that the Hag of Mudwater has summoned.
He killed the Great Pumpkin.
He killed a hill giant tribe in one swift evening of fun and enjoyment. That's for sure.
Definitely an awesome. I mean, I can't wait to get the hands on that, get that all painted up, and do the whole scene. And we'll definitely use it in the game. I'm 100%. I promise that.
I'll tell you, I've already got the idea for the overgrown pumpkin patch in the cemetery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one. If you hopped in late, let me just go right to it. This is the look of it when it was up on Bones, overgrown by Mike Disney. Once again, who did the sculpt, Mike?
Jason Weeby from Reaper Miniatures, amazing sculptor. He's done a lot of stuff. One of his most notable is the Reaper version of Orcus, the undead, the King of Undead. So the same guy that sculpted that is doing the Overgourd.
That one right there.
Yep, that is it. And that is going to get used soon, Mike, in our game. So, Bill came up with a genius idea that I'm running with. And, yes, we all right, you guys ready for some cool announcements here? We got a lot going on. And if you did not see the Blue Box game last night, it was a great time. And Blue Box is going
That was a good time.
Thank you. Yeah, they were all new to Greyhawk, all those players. All of them, except for John, the DM. And was that insane what John did? He came to me with the idea of having his character betray the party because he wants to use that character as an antithesis in the future. And I was like, this is genius, man. So that whole thing was, and they were shocked when it happened, except for the half ogre, which kind of predicted it, which was the ironies of there was pretty intense there. All right, so we go to Wednesday night. I got a couple nights off. Wednesday night, all right, we got Legends and Lore episode 55, Living Greyhawk, Bandit Kingdom Story. That's wrong. That's next week. See, I already pulled out the wrong thing. Here, I'll just do them both. All right, Era Gygaxian. We're going to talk about the 576 map era on Legends and Lore. We're going to have Jason Zavoda Anna Meyer, Greyhawk Mike, and me, and we're just going to go over all the
One of the
events and
best
things that
Patreons
happen.
out there is Anna's site. If you're using Greyhawk,
Hmm.
use the Patreon for Anna's site. The maps are fantastic.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
normally Anna's on the show. This was one night that Anna got off, but she'll be back on Legends of Lore and Gabbin
She's in
next week.
chat.
Oh,
She's in
absolutely.
chat. Yeah.
Anna's always around, and it's great. And Anna, all my maps are custom done by Anna for the Grail campaign. And like you said, I'm a little spoiled, and yeah, we all there's Anna. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
she's amazing. She's an amazing artist.
The Gygaxian era, we're going to discuss all that. It's going to be all From the Ashes. It's Jason Zavoda's favorite time frame in Greyhawk lore. The Gord novels, all the events that lead up to that, all the things that go on early on. There's a lot. The 576 map Anna went back to because there was such a demand for it over the 598 map, and so that is what we're going to discuss on Legends and Lore on this Wednesday. And then the week after that, Living Greyhawk Bandit Kingdom stories. We're going to go back to getting the Living Greyhawk people in and tell a whole bunch of in-depth stories about what happened in the Bandit Kingdoms during that era. Susan Threadgill and Casey Brown and Britt will. I'm sorry, I don't remember Britt's last name. Will all be on this show at least. Okay, and that'll be in 2 weeks. Alrighty, so. Next Thursday night, we finish up Incident at Junction Blockhouse, which is a really in-depth fight, and you may have seen some pictures up. But man, this is kind of a little bit of a difficult fight, and Tim's getting his butt kicked, and so that made Casey very happy. On the Thursday
Tim,
night
what are
show.
you doing?
Yeah, so yes, even Tim got a little bit butt kicked there on this one. That's this Thursday, and
Tim's
then
my hero.
he's the next Saturday. We have the following next Gabbin. I'm sorry, next Sunday. Next Gabbin next Sunday, number 97, the darker side. Okay, so I need to discuss some of the really evil and bad guys and gals in my campaign, because we're really starting to get back into some of the really, really basics. So I need to talk about the Dark Brotherhood, need to talk about Lord Page, need to talk about Holly, need to talk about all of them. You know, all the organizations, the Red Company mercenaries. We got to talk about the Ravagers. We got to talk about the Free Reavers. We got to get even some members of the Knights of the Holy Shielding, right, Bill?
Yep.
And,
Just to show you how old these bad guys are, I started playing in '92, and most of these bad guys predate me.
Oh, that's fantastic DMing on Jay's part right there. That's all there is to it. Recurring evil bad guys in the campaign. That's kudos to.
Thank you. So I'll give you an example. Last night at the beginning, I had a figure from the original Grenadier fighter set.
Yeah, I
that
saw
we
that.
used. Lisden.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Lisden's figure is 42 years old. Lisden's
let me
character
paint that.
is 40 years old. And Lisden is a bane in the side of Tim. And when I had Lisden up, Tim is putting in chat, kill him now, to the book box people. And I'm like, you can't do that, Tim, because he knows what a thorn in the side to the party he was. And that character goes back all that time. So we'll talk about him. We'll talk about everyone. It'll be a fun talk. I'm going to have Anna on because I want Anna to discuss a little tidbit of her campaign and her bad guys, because Anna's going to do during this, which I'm going to link this to everyone in chat. Hopefully I don't mess this up. That is the Discord server for virtual Greyhawk Con 2020, which is going to happen. Okay, it is in the works now. The Discord server's up. I have, if I count this correctly, 9. There you go. However, 9 streamers, counting myself, channels that are going to participate in virtual Greyhawk Con already, plus all these other DMs, plus Anna Meyer, plus Alan Grohe, plus the whole community is going to step up for this. So this is going to happen. We're going to have a convention virtually the month after ReaperCon. There's no conflicts of any other major cons. We set this date October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. at 4 months, we're gonna have a convention for
And
Greyhawk.
are they going to be creative aspects to this convention as well, or is it just going to be strictly
We're gonna have
gaming?
we're gonna have seminars too, man, and we're gonna have all sorts of stuff. So if you want to do a seminar, if you're ready with ZBrush and want to show some stuff that you're gonna make some Greyhawk monsters on a stream, I'm in, man. What do you think?
Oh, you sure? I don't want to promise any of that, but I wouldn't mind doing some maybe illustrations or
Let's
some
do it.
painting or something
Let's
like
do
that.
it.
Maybe we could paint one of your villains that is such a pain in the ass.
Let's do it, Mike. That's all Greyhawk based,
Jay,
man.
invite's invalid.
So Mike, you're the 10th streamer.
All
Nightheart
right.
Gaming's in. Jimmy Duffy's in. We're all. It says invite valid. Oh, you got to be kidding me!
You got to use the one that's permanent.
I thought I
You need
did.
Need me to walk you through how to do a Discord invite?
Give me 10 seconds, guys. Give me 10. Hey, at least we got 10 seconds on here. So, Mike, that would be awesome, man. We'll make something up that's Greyhawk related that you can, illustrations or paintings. That'd be awesome.
I'm interested in that Grenadier miniature that's such a pain in the butt.
Lisden?
Like I wouldn't mind repainting some of that old stuff. Putting a new little spaz on it. You know what I mean?
Mike,
try that now, guys.
In our fishy box, Jay, I think that's one of the first miniatures I painted. It's in a fishy box. It's all black, and I think it was dipped in Tester's black enamel.
Oh my god, that stuff is thicker than tar, Bill.
We have it.
Like 82 or 83.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do an updated version of them then.
Oh,
we can
that'd be cool.
find like a good rendition of them on Reaper, and we'll just paint a different.
New Lisden Reinhofen. Can you imagine that, Bill? Tim will go insane if we do that, and that makes it worth it to have a new Lisden figure. That would be awesome.
Should we do Lisden or Lisden's son?
That's true. We could do. I think Lisden's
more
infamous.
Who's your main pain in the butt?
Holly.
Well, then that's who we should do.
Holly is the head of the Dark Brotherhood, a 16th level specialty priestess of Leviathan.
Then that's who we should do.
Yeah.
We should do one that's who is your main campaign super pain in the ass, and that will always, as far as the players know, will always be around and has been around for a while. Who needs a good mini?
Holly.
That you don't
Holly.
There you go.
She does.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll pick one out.
Yeah.
We'll pick one out if we have to. Maybe I'll reach out to one of my sculpting friends and we'll even get.
Oh man, that would be an awesome. That would be
I
awesome.
started working on one for her one time. I think I had a succubus figure that I took the wings off of because it already had a cat of nine tails or something, and it just never. I don't even know where it is now.
You guys get me a good description of her, everything down to what she's wearing.
Oh, I surely shall do that for Holly, Holly the callous pain inflictor of mass pain, head of the Dark Brotherhood. Because you got to go with the Maiden of Pain. Leviathan is a great deity, even though it isn't technically a Greyhawk deity, but it is in my campaign. So that would be awesome. Thanks, Mike. Guys, I hope you had fun tonight. This was a great discussion from all of us. Brian, thank you so very much. Anyone want to say anything in final notes here?
Thank you for having us on.
What's that?
I'm running for virtual Greyhawk Con too.
I know you are. You are too. Absolutely. On my channel, but you are. Yes. I what I'm saying is, now listen, I would say we have 10 streamers now, and we have all these other DMs.
I like to bust your balls, man.
I know you're busting. He's busting my balls again, Mike. So yes, I am so excited about. Tim is in too. We're so stoked about this in October. So
and I don't even know when I have to build for it yet.
Yeah. One last thing. So if anyone's paranoid, I sent a letter to WotC stating what we were doing, stating it's fan content convention, not for profit. And I have a connection at WotC who says we should be free and clear. We're not doing this to make money. We're doing this for fan content only. We fit within the fan content policy. We should be good to go, guys. Just want to let you know that, okay, that has been addressed. All right. So unless I get a letter back in a month, then we'll just change the name to Hawktoberfest is the backup name. Okay. If we have to change it from Virtual CrowdCon, we'll change it to Hawktoberfest if we have to do it, but we don't want to do that. So, all right. Paranoia is real. Absolutely. Guys, what a great night.
Isn't it? That's a shame that it has to get down to something as simple as that when it's just fan based. You know what I mean?
Mike,
It's
I had to
really
cover-
shameful.
I had to cover our butts on that though. I had to do the due diligence, do the right thing, and send it out. But I really appreciate everyone's assistance on this, Brian, Mike, Bill, for what you're doing down the road, and all the other channels that are going to put up on this. It's a community effort. We just want to get this thing growing again, even more than what it is now. And we'll see you Wednesday night for Great Legends and Lore up there. And to everyone else, it doesn't matter what edition you play, as long as it's Greyhawk, it's good with me. So, see you guys. Have a great night.
Good night, guys.
So much stuff to clean up on my desk.
It's okay. I got this whole box of stuff. I got to get it downstairs without falling down the steps and ruining it all. So, Mike, thank you, man. That was awesome.
Hey, no, thank you guys, man. It was great, man. That was a lot of fun.
It's good to talk to you in person, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. Always.
Always.
So when
Your
are you back on Tuesday morning?
Yeah, Tuesday morning. Yes, sir. Actually, no, Monday night. I've got, tomorrow night, I got a co-illustrative stream with Zambies.
I'll tell you, she's been doing some really nice stuff. I'll tell you, I'm really enjoying people doing the co-streams, just seeing the, people working together has been kind of cool. And then, who did the sculptor for Forest Dragon? Red,
The Autumn Dragon that she did? Yeah, that's Valandar the Red, yeah.
Valandar the Red, right.
Yeah. He's supposed to be doing all of them, but I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch on that one, you know what I mean? So, I see him doing hers, but not mine. But we're not live anymore, are we?
No, we always talk over. You're good. You know what? I'm going to raid, what time is it? I'm going to do a late raid into, Zambies is on. You want to raid into her? You want to raid into her, Mike, still?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to raid into Zambies, guys, okay? All right, so hang in there. We'll probably get about 35 to 40 at this point, this late. So give me 1 second. All right, we'll raid into Zambies here. I always forget.
Community stuff when people are working together. It's kind of cool.
Let me go to this scene here. Okay, as I'm doing this, we're raid into Zambies.
Bill, I'm gonna have to trade you some 3D print stuff for some of your freaking super awesome handmade stuff.
Setting it up.
I wish I had the time. I've been working on a tree.
Nice, guys. 43 available now. That's great. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you over there.
No, what I was saying, they couldn't hear us talking.